to a casino, right? Play what you can afford to lose. Okay? Don't be putting your rent in there. Don't be putting your kids' college fund, none of that kind of stuff. All right? And the other thing, if you get into crypto, you got to have cojones. Got to have cojones. I was just telling Alex that. There'll be days where you're up big, and then there'll be days where there's going to be dips. But you got to look at the big picture. There's always a higher high and a higher low in all of it. Don't get too down on the lows. Stay with it. Don't get down on the consolidation. We were in the 120s, 119, 120, 121 with Cardano for, I don't know, about a month and a half or something. And now, boom, it's at 160 something, 170. It found a higher floor in the 150s lately, and now it's moved up to the 160s and flirting with the 170s. Now, it hit an all-time high today at 175. And I've been telling everybody that it'll be $5 by the end of the year. When Gauguin is introduced, and the move that Cardano will make from July to December will be monstrous. Monstrous. That's when it's going to make its power move. I don't know how far, but I know at least it'll get to $5, I believe. At least. Okay? Like Ethereum. I kept telling you for months, it'll be $5,000 by the end of the year. It's going to be more probably now, but I'd rather give you a conservative number. All right. Anthony Manzano says, with the Dolphins releasing Bobby McCain, does that mean Holland is a starting free safety this year? Do we sign somebody to compete with him? Anthony, you, sir, need to go to our podcast and listen to the segment yesterday. I broke down the safeties all the way through, starting free, what's going to happen. So if I'm you, I would go to our podcast yesterday. I'm not going to repeat everything I did because we got to offer fresh material today. But on the podcast, you can get that full explanation on all of the safeties and what they're doing, okay? And I appreciate you. Thank you, sir. Let's see, what else do we have here on the program that I want to talk about before we go to the top of the hour? Rob Parker. Let's talk a little Rob Parker because Parker does this show with, I rarely listen to that show or watch it or whatever the hell it is. But he does a show every day. And Parker is one of those guys that we have certain hosts in sports, just like in politics and in life and entertainment, that they kind of use the race card as a crutch, right? And they usually try to twist everything into the race card, and almost everything has to do with race, which is not true. Now, of course, some things do have to do with race. We all know that, but not everything. But again, this is their way of stirring it up and getting into people's emotions. So here's Rob Parker yesterday addressing Tim Tebow getting an opportunity with the Jags. Go ahead, Alex, fire it off.
I don't understand how a guy who hasn't played in the NFL since 2012, right, 8-9 years now, a guy who just recently quit baseball, said he was pulled away at different directions to do other stuff, and I think it's the ultimate white privilege. This guy has failed in the NFL. He can't play. And the idea, I know he played for Urban Meyer in college. I get that. But so have a lot of other people.
That's probably the reason he got the tryout.
No, but they so have a lot of other players, Chris.
Not like him.
Who have played.
They didn't do what Tim Tebow did for Urban Meyer.
Yeah, but he won one championship. The Urban Meyer won two. Chris Leak won the other one. He didn't win both of them.
He was great for Urban Meyer.
Where's Chris Leak's tryout as tight end?
I mean, it's just so stupid. Now, listen, Tim Tebow, what Rob Parker doesn't understand is that Tim Tebow is the guy that walks in and says, hey, listen, I need to date your wife. And you're like, oh, yeah, go ahead. It's Tim Tebow. Go ahead. Tim Tebow's a guy that can hypnotize you about anything. You know what I'm saying? He'll walk in and say, do you need me to circumcise you? Yeah, it's Tim Tebow. Go ahead. Circumcise my kid. No problem. My wife is pregnant. She's in delivery. Tim, deliver the baby. Go find the video where Tim Tebow is at a minor league baseball game and there's a kid having a seizure. And he touches the kid and the seizure stops. Tim Tebow, look, I know what's really going on here. Urban Meyer had 33 arrests at Florida. Tim Tebow was like the only guy on the team that didn't get arrested. So he figures, if the Jags ever have any issues, He knows one guy that at least will be, you know, kind of the guy trying to keep peace and won't get arrested and all that good stuff. Look, it's a joke. It's Urban Meyer really just basically giving a guy that gave him a lot an opportunity. And look, I've talked about this before. The real problem with Tim Tebow is he never got it out of his system. And the only thing that Rob Parker was right was he keeps failing at the professional level. And I still say to this day, he should have gone directly to the CFL and played quarterback there and try to see if he can become a quarterback. He's no better than Joe Theismann. He's no better than Warren Moon. He's no better than Jeff Garcia, right? Cam Wake went there. We got Mark Dixon from there. Doug Flutie went there, right? So others have gone to try to resurrect their careers and came back, and some of them even went to the Hall of Fame, like Warren Moon. So Tim Tebow's problem was that it is frustrating for him because he couldn't get there to that point. Now, could he have been a tight end years ago? Yeah. At this age, probably not. But it's nothing more. It's not about race. It's about that Tim Tebow is the most likable mofo on the planet. Tim Tebow is a guy that he brought so much success to Urban Meyer that he's going to give Herb's going to give him a shot because he loves the kid.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You're listening to the home of Inter Miami CF.
His strike is a decent one. It's fired into the top right corner. Gonzalo Higuain opens his account for Inter Miami.
OnsideRadio.com, where the passion for La Rosa Negra runs deep. Download the Radio.net app and listen to Onside Radio in every Inter Miami CF game. OnsideRadio.com, your home for Inter Miami soccer.
Let's raise a cup to the first among us who put themselves last. To the risk takers, the mask makers, the heroes on the front line and online. To the ones keeping shelves full and keeping us hopeful. To those who don't stop and those making all the stops. To the ones who pick up, suit up, and never let us down. From all of us at Duncan to all the heroes keeping everyone running, we thank you.
You're listening to this station with more live and local sports talk than anyone else in South Florida. OnsideRadio.com. Broadcasting from South Florida to the world. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno.
It's all yours. Just keep it right here.
You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Yes! Oh, it's Friday. And it is Man of the Match with Alex Donno. Oh, I'm Alex Donno. And I'm with you here on OnsideRadio.com. Taking you up until 6 o'clock tonight. And that's when your weekend officially begins. The weekend will officially begin at 6 o'clock this evening. I'm still, of course, celebrating the Scudetto for my beloved Inter Milan Internazionale. I'm hoping for an Inter Miami win coming up on Sunday. By the way, bros, this weekend in Major League Soccer is absolutely lit. Right? Now, listen, the South Florida sports fan, of course, the South Florida sports fan is going to be fully invested in Inter Miami CF. They're going to take the pitch here, the home pitch on Sunday. We're sitting live high atop the pitch right here. We broadcast live all the shows here on Onside Radio from Drive Pink Stadium, formerly Inter Miami CF Stadium, now Drive Pink Stadium. In fact, as I was walking in today, they are finishing up the signage because they had to replace the gigantic letters.
I'm glad you knew what that was because I was like, what the heck are they doing up there?
I was afraid like the V from Drive was going to like fall on my head when I was walking into the building. Because they have
like some corny like horror movie or disaster movie or something.
Final Destination 8.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, no, so
Fate.
That's what they were doing. Well, you got here a little bit before I did, so it might not have been that clear because when I was walking into the stadium today, I could actually see, like, there's a guy on, like, a crane. I don't know, man, my knowledge of construction equipment. But there's a dude way high up in the sky because, he's putting the new lettering on, the upper level of the stadium on the outside so people can see it from the road. And I noticed he had, like, a big V that he was putting on for the Drive Pink Stadium, and they had a bunch of letters on the ground that they hadn't installed quite yet. So, yeah, by the time you guys are here with us as our guests in the stadium, 8,000 strong, we're going to have Sunday, 1 p.m., little afternoon matinee kickoff here on Mother's Day. Bring your moms out. Bring your wives. Bring your moms out here. You're going to have a grand old time, man. So come on out, and you're going to see the new signage on the front of the stadium. It will now say Drive Pink Stadium. So huge shout-out to the good people at AutoNation who have become an awesome partner here to Inter Miami CF. And AutoNation, it's a company I'm a big fan of because their corporate initiative towards charity, I think, is fantastic. They do so much for cancer research and for breast cancer. It's why their color is pink. And, of course, their color being pink and Inter Miami having pink in their colors really seemed like a perfect marriage from day one. I don't know why it took this long to get it together. So our game's going to be a lot of fun here on Sunday. We also have this weekend. On Saturday, we have El Tráfico, huge grudge match, derby in Los Angeles between LA Galaxy and LAFC. And then I think the other big one is Sunday afternoon, actually. So right after our game is over, you're going to have the Portland Timbers hosting the Seattle Sounders. That game is always fun to watch. I don't know if in Portland they allow any fans in their stadium because Pacific Northwest, it's basically still locked down in that part of the country. I don't know. Maybe they'll have a limited crowd there for that matchup, like a very, very limited crowd, like maybe like 1,000 or 2,000 people there. But I can remember the first time that I ever and forgive me because like I've been a European soccer fan for basically my entire life. I only really started to invest in Major League Soccer 3 or 4 years ago. Like once we really knew, hey, our team is coming down here in Miami, that's when I thought, hey, let me give the domestic thing a try. Let me really learn the league. And I can remember about 3 summers ago now, it was because when the World Cup was going on in Russia, the World Cup runs concurrent with the MLS season. So you have MLS season in progress even while the World Cup is happening. And I was watching World Cup games all throughout the day. And then on a Saturday or a Sunday night, the matchup between Portland and Seattle was happening. And the game was in Portland the way that it is on Sunday night. And that, of course, was, a couple years before the pandemic, a completely full stadium, like standing room only. And the fans were so crazy and so passionate and screaming and singing and jumping up and down. It was deafening the entire time. That was like my introduction to Major League Soccer. And I said, hey, I got to hand it to it because we, it being kind of a Euro soccer snob, we always kind of thought, Major League Soccer, it's such an inferior environment, an inferior product and everything. But, after watching the first time I watched a Portland versus Seattle game about 3 years ago, I really had a lot of respect for it. And I said, okay, you know what? This league is actually doing something special. They're onto something, and this league is growing. You got to remember, Major League Soccer is 100 years behind the big European leagues, right? I mean, the big European leagues were formed in the 1800s, right? So we're more than 100 years behind that. So I think we can get there someday. And then speaking of atmospheres, we haven't had full stadiums in Major League Soccer for a long time. I think we're going to be getting there within the next couple of months, certain parts of the country anyway. We'll have it, I think by summer, we'll have it around the state of Florida with Orlando City and down here with Inter Miami. I don't know when California and the Pacific Northwest will ever get on that. I think they're going to be a lot slower to kind of open things up because that's just the way that, the politics differ from various parts of the country. But, I can remember, early last season before the lockdown, first game of the year, when Inter Miami traveled to LAFC to open up their season, their inaugural campaign, and a bunch of Inter Miami fans made the trip to LA, and God bless you. I have a couple of personal friends who went out there. I know my buddy Manny Chang was out there. He's a member of Vice City. I want to say Austin Robillard, I think, was out there. I didn't know Austin then. I know Austin now. I want to say he was out there as well. I know Chris Whittingham was out there. And that crowd was absolutely electric. Little did I know at the time that would be one of the last glimpses I would get of a full stadium and a raucous crowd for over a year. But that crowd at LAFC when Inter Miami played their inaugural game was completely freaking insane. So we have some good ones this weekend in Major League Soccer. El Tráfico on Saturday, our own Inter Miami hosting Atlanta United. This is just our second home game of the year coming up. We haven't had it since opening day. We've been on the road for the last couple of weekends. And then also on Saturday, right after our game, Portland Timbers against Seattle Sounders. So it's going to be a whole lot of fun. We hope you can join us here at the stadium. So if you want to get in, you can send us a text message day and night, 24 hours a day. The text line is always open, 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. We're streaming live on YouTube. Log on into YouTube, search Onside Radio. Hopefully you're already subscribing to our channel, but if you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button so you get caught up on all the Onside Radio videos, the live shows, and the replays. And once you hit the watch live button, you get in there, you smash the like button, smash the thumbs up button, and feel free to participate in the chat. Because I think what makes YouTube more fun, there are a bunch of different ways to listen to us and watch us. You can also watch us on Twitch, by the way, which is cool. But there are a bunch of different ways to listen to us. You can listen to us right on our website, onsideradio.com. You can listen on a half dozen different mobile apps, free mobile apps like the MyTuner Radio app or the Simple Radio app. You download the app to your smartphone. It won't cost you a cent. You make Onside Radio your favorite station. You take us on a jog. You take us in the car. If you have Bluetooth speakers in your car, you can play it right through the speakers, and it's way better than crackly AM radio. Believe me, it's really, really good audio quality. But, we love YouTube, and one of the reasons why I really enjoy when people can get in there is we really build the community because you guys can use the live chat. And I'm active on there. I read all the messages. I respond to a lot of them during the breaks. And every single day, my friends, every single day, topics from the YouTube chat have turned into topics on the show. And another reason why the YouTube chat and the text line are so clutch is when I'm doing my thing and I'm talking about how much I hate pineapples on pizza and I'm throwing like Italian soccer propaganda at you and MMA propaganda at you, sometimes I miss breaking news updates. And it's like a race. Alex Aguirre can get those to me, but then sometimes you guys in the chat will see something that happens before we do. A couple days ago, when we found out about the terrible injury that Juwan James suffered away from the Broncos facility, I think it was Rafa in Miami who brought it to my attention first on the chat line. When the Dolphins yesterday signed that incredibly tall tight end who's never actually played football before, was a basketball player, we had it first in the chat line, so I really appreciate you guys. I see Joseph Rodriguez is already in there. What's cracking, Donno? Have a blessed day, everyone. Our buddy Ray Grullon, he says, howdy, Donno. Everybody, happy Friday. I'm predicting 3 or 4 primetime games this year for our Finns. Next week, the NFL releases the schedule. Can't wait. More on that in a second. Anthony Monsanto is in there as well. Hello, Anthony. Ray is right. They're releasing the schedule, the full schedule of games. It's going to be May 12th at 8 p.m. That's Wednesday night. Next Wednesday night at 8 p.m., the full schedule release is coming out for all the teams. So you know what's going to happen. They're releasing it at 8 p.m. Armando Salguero is going to post it in the Herald at like 2 p.m. So he's going to spoil it for you. And that's fine because, honestly, I don't need to wait to watch a primetime schedule release on television. It's kind of ridiculous. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous that ESPN makes a whole show about a schedule release. Bros, just tell me what it is. Make it so I can download the PDF on my phone and like automatically input it into my iPhone schedule. Whenever the Dolphins send out like those little pocket schedules. Do people still get those pocket schedules? That was clutch, like up until like 2007, like the old pocket schedule. Like now, everybody's got a goddamn computer in their pocket, right? I mean, before smartphones, you would get the little pocket schedule. It was like a business card. You'd put it in your wallet. You would have the team schedule all year. And then all of a sudden they realize everyone's got the internet in their phone. It takes you 15 seconds to Google your team schedule on your smartphone. But I was a big fan of the pocket schedules back in the day. What about you, Alex? Were you into that?
It reminded me of like before smartphones were a thing when I was in school, the homework journals they gave to the students or like something like what you mentioned, a pocket journal, but it was a little bit bigger. It was more like the size of a textbook because you have to like write down more stuff. But it was structured the same exact way, and I used that constantly. I think that's how I kept myself together. Like, and I use it all the way through high school. Even with the smartphone in high school, I still used the homework journal. And then I had my own in college as well.
Nice.
There's something about writing it down and then scratching it off that was just satisfying. I guess I don't know, of like doing something and then like I'm able to scratch it off. So that's what I use, even with the smartphone. So yeah, like I don't know, it helped me be organized. But I know that the phones do the same thing. But it's just I don't know. Some things are good. Some things are good to keep old school.
Yeah, and if you keep it in your phone, then that means like Bill Gates.
You lose everything.
Well, not only that, but like Bill Gates and the deep state, like they can probably pull up they know exactly what you're doing. If you write it down, you're staying off the grid. If you actually write it down on paper, you're staying old school. You don't want the deep state to know what your entire schedule is for the week.
Like, what if something like by accident your phone gets wiped out and you don't have it backed up onto the cloud or whatever? Then there goes everything, all that information. If I have it written down or whatever, then like the only thing if I lose that book, but most of the time I probably wouldn't. I probably wouldn't lose that.
For some reason, my wife doesn't use the cloud. I back up everything on the cloud.
Same.
I'm pretty sure that like if I were to get killed, like they could just upload my entire consciousness into the cloud and bring me back.
That's a movie.
Yeah.
With Johnny Depp.
It wasn't very good.
I've never seen it.
I love the concept of the movie, but the actual movie was bad.
I think Morgan Freeman was in it too. He's in everything.
I'm pretty sure my entire memory is like my brain is backed up in the cloud. I have everything backed up in the cloud. My wife doesn't trust the cloud. Like she thinks it's an actual cloud. I'm like, it's a server farm somewhere outside San Francisco probably is what the cloud actually is. But speaking of the schedule release, so the schedule is going to be released 8 p.m. on May 12th. Our friends at 3 Yards Per Carry put out a poll today. There's really only one proper answer to this question. So their question is, what is your preferred Miami Dolphins season opener? Is it Thursday Night Football at Tampa Bay against the Patriots, home or away, against the Bills, home or away, or Sunday at the Tennessee Titans? Well, that would be just for the Tannehill factor, right? Like that's and because they do have Tennessee on the schedule. We just don't know for when. I don't know other than getting a look at old Tannehill why I would want that to be the opener. There's only one answer for me. I want to open up the season at Tampa Bay on Thursday night. That's a huge game. That's a huge spotlight. And if I'm gonna measure myself week 1 against anyone, I want to see where we stack up against the champs. We're gonna have to play them at some point in the season anyway. You might as well play them on the night when they're getting their ring ceremonies and they might be a little bit hungover still from that boat party that they had a few months ago. Week 1 is always pretty chaotic. I mean, for anybody, right? Because you don't really know. Although you know what, that may work in the Buccaneers' favor because they have the entire band back together. There's not really that team doesn't really look much different than it did last season. But still, I want the spotlight of opening up the season at Tampa Bay. I think it's good for the state of Florida. Teams are in different conferences, yeah, but you've got a little bit of a built-in geographic rivalry there. And I would love for Tua, for all the new pieces, Jalen Waddle on primetime Thursday night against the champs to open up the season. Will Fuller in a Dolphins uniform in primetime. Tua Tagovailoa got some weapons to sling it to. I want to go big or go home, right? If you're asking me what I'd rather do for the season opening game, against the Patriots, home or away. I mean, we did that last year away against the Patriots. That was a real crap game for us. That was the one good game that Cam Newton had all year last year. Bills, home or away, meh. At Tennessee or Thursday Night Football to open up the season against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Who's with me? I go for Tampa Bay. I want to open up the season against Tampa. 844-416-8123 is how you get in. That's 844-416-8123. So at 3:45, we're going to get our best bets for the weekend from Lee Sterling from ParamountSports.com. Lee has been really good picking games and picking fights on the show. I was texting with Lee this morning just to make sure we were confirmed for 3:45, and he said something that got me really excited. He said in all capital letters that he loves the UFC Fight Night card tomorrow night. And when I see Lee Sterling say he loves a fight card, that means he's going to have some 50-unit, 40-unit plays that he's going all in, man, on the UFC Fight Night show tomorrow. So I'm excited to see Lee Sterling enthusiastic about that fight card. He mixes it up well. He's probably going to give us a fight or two. He's going to give us maybe an NBA game, a baseball game, a hockey game. He loves to really run the gamut and give us a bunch of different options. So he's going to join us at 3:45. In the 4 o'clock hour, it's Friday. So we're getting the Friday honesty from our good friend Omar Kelly from the South Florida Sun Sentinel. He's going to join us at 4:35 today. 5 p.m. hour, loaded. 5 o'clock sharp, George Richards from Florida Hockey Now is going to join us. We'll preview the upcoming 2 big matchups for seeding, essentially, Florida Panthers against the Tampa Bay Lightning. I'll get his take on what a 7-game series between those two teams is going to look like, and I'll get his take on the goaltending situation. If he feels bullish on Sergei Bobrovsky. Listen, Donno, people talk a lot of shit. Bobrovsky is ready to stop a lot of shot in playoff, my friend. We'll get George Richards' take on that. At 5:20, we're going to set the table for a big European soccer weekend. Of course, my team, Inter, already the champions of the Serie A, so I can kick my feet up and let the losers below us on the table battle it out for Champions League spots. But there are a couple of huge games this weekend, especially Juventus versus AC Milan, to help decide a Champions League position for either of those two teams. Frank Crivello, our friend from World Football Index and the Serie A sit-down, he's going to join us at 5:20 today. We got Foodie Friday coming up. I'm going to give you my take. I'm going to pick Alex Aguirre's brain on this as well. And, of course, we're going to take interaction from all the listeners. Foodie Friday for today. This is the first Foodie Friday in a hot minute. We didn't have one last week because our schedule at the end of the week was so weird with the NFL draft. Foodie Friday topic for today. And I will take submissions via the text line, via the YouTube chat, and via my Twitter. Let me know, what is your favorite fast food burger? And, friends, I've decided this is how we're going to define it. I know this is going to piss some people off, but we need to keep this tight, okay? Drive-through only, right? This is not a spot you can walk in. And I know people are going to be pissed because that takes Five Guys and Shake Shack out of the equation. You've got to be able to drive through. You have to be able to go through a drive-through window. Give me your favorite fast food burger, something you can get via drive-through. We can have some fun with this on Foodie Friday coming your way next. You guys are listening to the only locally owned sports station in South Florida. We are OnSideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the man of the match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. Listen to OnSideRadio.com anywhere by downloading the MyTuner Radio app in your app store. Or go to MyTunerRadio.com on your web browser. OnSideRadio.com. South Florida sports leader. When you need your warehouse looking good while staying efficient, there's only one place to find the finest racks in the business. Pallet Rack City in Hialeah. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. Pallet Rack City is the company you need when you want your warehouse sporting the finest racks in the business. After all, who doesn't love a great rack? Pallet Rack City. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. At OnSideRadio.com, we chirp all day and night. It's time to do some more chirping with David Dwork at our Chirping the Cats report.
After a couple welcome days off, the Florida Panthers got back to work on Thursday as the team prepares for its final 2 games of the regular season. The Panthers are gearing up for the opening round of the Stanley Cup playoffs, and it's looking more and more like Florida's opponent will be their cross-state rival from Tampa Bay. Before the postseason arrives, the Cats and Bolts must first face off for a pair of contests in Sunrise to wrap up the regular season schedule. The 2 games against the Lightning still hold some significance, as the outcomes will likely determine who holds home ice advantage in the first round series. And I don't know about you, but I sure would like the Cats to have Game 1 and Game 7 at the BB&T Center, especially considering this is a franchise that hasn't won a playoff series since 1996. The time off this week came at a great time for Florida, with several key players still working their way back from injuries. That includes Carter Verhaeghe, Sam Bennett, Patrick Hornquist, and Chris Strieger, all of whom are expected to be back in the Panthers lineup before the playoffs arrive.
Keep up with the latest on the Florida Panthers by subscribing on most platforms by searching Onside Radio, your home for South Florida sports.
Now that it's springtime, it's only getting hotter here in South Florida. Make sure your AC in your home or business is running smoothly by investing in a preventative maintenance plan from M&S Air Conditioning. And M&S is a Mitsubishi Diamond Elite contractor. When you purchase a new Mitsubishi electric mini split system, you'll get a 12-year warranty. Or install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit that captures and destroys biological contaminants to improve air quality. M&S Air Conditioning have been providing prompt, honest, and reliable service for over 30 years. Schedule service or call to get more info on our preventative maintenance plans. Call 954-421-3680 or visit ac-florida.com.
Join the Inter Miami family in 2021 by becoming a 2021 season ticket member. Enjoy enhanced access benefits and pricing not available to general fans. Visit intermiamicf.com/tickets for more information.
You're listening to OnsideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the MyTuner Radio app. OnsideRadio.com, South Florida's true hometown station.
With Make-A-Wish, the impossible becomes possible. A girl battling cancer can become a race car driver battling the course. The boy showing all the nurses his fire trucks can take the helm of a real one. Wishes can give kids with critical illnesses the strength to keep fighting, get better, and grow up.
Where there's a wish, there's a way.
Wishes need you. Visit Make-A-Wish at wish.org.
Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Now, as soon as I mentioned in the last segment, we were going to ask you guys on Foodie Friday, what's the best fast food burger? A couple people right away in the YouTube chat said Shake Shack. But, Alex, by my own rule, I don't think we can allow it because I've decided to rule it. It's got to be drive-through only, and I've never seen a Shake Shack with a drive-through. So it's overruled.
Same, I haven't.
Man, so if we're only going drive-through. Now, I sent a tweet about this earlier today, and we got some good responses, some responses that violate all my rules. So we got a response from my pal Michael Lisi, who gets it. He says, Whopper, all the fixings. You know, the Whopper is a little bit underrated. The problem that I have with Burger King is they seem very inconsistent. You don't know what you're going to get from one location to the next. Whereas I respect McDonald's and Wendy's in the term of no matter what location you're at all over the world, you know the certain standard you're going to get there. Whereas Burger King can be all over the road sometimes. Now, I've said it before, the one time you can't really rely on McDonald's is if you're going through the drive-thru at like 4 in the morning, if after like an all-night bender. And then, you know, the quality of employee at that time, they probably do not care about giving you the proper order. So you never know what you're going to get. But other than that, like I find Burger King a bit inconsistent. But if you get like a good Whopper, like fresh off the flame broiler, it's a pretty goddamn good sandwich. I give him that. Another response, Don Cafecito says, and this violates every rule that I have for these Foodie Fridays. He says, usually Colombian food truck burgers are my favorite. Now, I'm not saying those aren't good, but the thing is, Alex, you know one of my pet peeves whenever we do the Foodie Friday discussions, you've got to give me something, specific enough that we actually know what you're talking about, because when you say usually Colombian food truck burger, so how many different Colombian food trucks are there in Miami? 600? Like, does that really narrow it down very far? And people listening from other parts of the country, they may not, if you're listening from Des Moines, Iowa, you may not have a Colombian food truck anywhere near you. Give me something people have heard of. Give me something more accessible. Mike Thompson says, when asked best fast food burger, he said, easy. One not made with lips, hooves, and assholes. Honestly, I prefer the ignorance is bliss policy. I don't know what they're putting in these burgers. As long as it tastes good, I don't ask too many questions, all right? Coach Peter, I love him, but he completely missed the question here. He says, well, it's not fast food, but the Cheesecake Factory's classic burger is about the best one I've had. With the garlic mayo they offer, it's amazing. And again, not fast food. Brooklyn Rob, he gets it. Brooklyn Rob. And you know what, guys? We're going drive-through only. This is up there for me. This might be my number one. Brooklyn Rob, In-N-Out Burger, game over. Yeah, In-N-Out Burger, very controversial because when a lot of people try it, it doesn't live up to the legend. It doesn't live up to the hype. There are some quick burgers I prefer. I actually really like, I don't know how many locations they have around here, but there's one right near my house. It's called Mooyah. They do a really good job. I like Shake Shack. It's a pretty pricey burger, but you're getting good stuff. Five Guys, it depends on how much grease I'm willing to take in one day because their burgers are really greasy to me, but they are pretty good as well. But In-N-Out Burger, tremendous value for the money. And you get everything animal style. You get that spread with the cheese and the Thousand Island or whatever the special sauce. You smother your burger and your fries with that. It's so delicious. So In-N-Out Burger might be my answer. This is not a bad one from Adam Smoot. He says, the regular McDonald's cheeseburger, but you have to put French fries on it. Beautiful simplicity. The French fries put into the burger, that's like a life hack. Not enough people do that. Not enough people know about it. Now, I don't mind getting a fast food burger every now and then. I actually prefer the McDonald's Quarter Pounder with cheese over most of the other McDonald's burgers because a couple people have said Big Mac is their favorite. I'm not that big on the Big Mac, but the double Quarter Pounder with cheese, that is a substantial meal that you get there, man. Oh, man. RC in the 305 says, Donno, whatever you do as a dad, make sure you take Luca, that's my son, to the Carvel in Hialeah. The best, Donno, the best. Is there, how many Carvels are left? Is Hialeah, because it's not that close to my house. I'll go there if that's the only Carvel I can get to. I love their ice cream cakes growing up. Cookie Puss? Fudgy the Whale? Dude, that was my childhood right there. Anytime one of my classmates, in elementary school, had a birthday party, I would so hope their mom would bring in a Cookie Puss. I would so hope that. Sometimes they brought in, homemade cupcakes and depended on, how good of a baker their parents were. But when they would bring in a Cookie Puss from Carvel, it was game on, man. Game on. Rafa in Miami says, his favorite fast food burger is the Big Mac. He probably has one twice a year. Ray says, okay, now I'm hungry for a burger. That's what we do on these Foodie Friday segments, man. That's what we do. Okay, I think I might go In-N-Out Burger number one. Now, if we're talking drive-thrus, Alex, Shake Shack does a pretty good. Or not Shake Shack. What is Steak and Shake? Steak and Shake does a pretty good job with a drive-thru. I like the patty melt there, and that's something they're open 24 hours. You can go through the drive-thru at 2, 3 in the morning after you're out partying, and it soaks up all the hangover. It soaks up all the alcohol. They do a pretty goddamn good job. Trying to think what else. When a couple people wrote in Wendy's, the Dave's Double or the Baconator. I find I like their chicken better at Wendy's. I like their spicy chicken.
So we can go chicken sandwiches.
No,
then.
we can't.
Okay,
it's burger only.
Burger
but
only,
I'm
right.
just saying, Wendy's is not. It's not my choice for burger. I had a bad experience at a Wendy's nearby my house where I got you know how sometimes they have those fancy burgers that just appear a limited time thing, and it was
like the pretzel bun thing.
That's what I
whatever.
got that a few months
Really?
ago, and I was disappointed because the patty was really dry, and I was just oh, come on, man. And I hadn't had a burger there in years because I love the chicken. I love the spicy chicken sandwich, and I even love their nuggets. So I'll either get spicy nuggets or a spicy chicken sandwich. And then I saw on the little menu board they had the pretzel bun burger, and it looked really good on the picture, and it's really expensive. You get a combo for one person. It's it ends up being $12 by the time you pay for it. And I was so disappointed because the patty was dry. No, the patty was dry. So I might have just had a bad experience that one time, but it turned me off a little bit from it. So I prefer the chicken products at Wendy's over that. Man, so couple people on Twitter wrote in Jack in the Box. We don't have that down here, though, right? Like, I don't know where the nearest Jack in the Box is probably, like, Georgia.
I have no idea where, like, they're located, to be honest with you.
You know what? I'm dying to try.
What's up?
Whataburger. We don't have those here, but those are big in Texas.
Okay. Yeah, we don't have those here. Yeah, I feel like, you know, Florida's a big state, but we don't have a large variety when it comes to like fast food. Like because I know in California they have like a rule per section in California.
That's the burger capital of the world.
You can't have you can only have a certain amount of McDonald's and like Burger King and stuff per section in the state of California. So that helps like give competition to like the mom and pop shops or like, I don't know, like the In-N-Outs and stuff, you know, because those are bigger corporations like McDonald's and Burger King. So I kind of like that rule, but
that's cool.
And here in Florida, like there's like a McDonald's or Burger King like in every other corner.
Yeah.
And like it's all we got pretty much. We don't have like an In-N-Out. We do have Shake Shack, but
it's true.
But yeah, but like when it comes to drive-through, yeah, like our options are pretty limited, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so. And to me, it's like burger is becoming more of a white-collar item. Right? Like there are so many like gourmet burger spots that pop up, like places you go sit down, like you're paying like sometimes $15 for a burger if you go to a really fancy spot. Like burger is no longer like the blue collar thing that it used to be. So it's interesting, but I appreciate the simple ones sometimes. We got people texting in on this as well at 844-416-8123. Marla writes in, believe it or not, I like a burger with ketchup, pickles, and 2 bottom buns, if possible, at Burger King. Too boring. I don't think that's too boring. I think it's very specific. Explain to me the 2 bottom buns thing. You must not like the sesame seeds that they put on there, because the top bun usually has the seeds, right? That's really interesting. Like I don't know if I've ever, and I'm not judging you. I'm fascinated. Like I'm legitimately fascinated. I don't know if I've ever heard of going through a drive-through and ordering 2 bottom buns on the burger. That's actually genius, because if you like the bottom bun better than the top bun, why not just have 2 bottom buns? That makes a lot of sense. Texter writes in, Donno, Sonic fast food is great. Everything they have on the menu so far is the very best for drive-through. You know, I haven't had Sonic since I was a little boy. They used to have, before Hurricane Andrew, they used to have a Sonic mile and a half away from my house where I grew up, and then after the hurricane, like I think they kind of took Sonic away from here for a while, and then they recently came back. The commercials are everywhere. I see the 2 weirdos, like they're actually kind of funny. The 2 guys that they always have in the commercials, just like bantering each other in the car, and they have there's a Sonic. I'm not sure if it's still there. I'm assuming it's still there, right by Hard Rock Stadium. And I've like driven past it so many times, but I've never gotten in. So I haven't had Sonic in way too long. The food looks good on the commercial, so I can say that. 844-416-8123 is how you reach us. That's 844-416-8123. I want to talk about the Jason McCourty signing for the Miami Dolphins and where he could fit in when we come back. And remember, we're about 10 minutes away from getting our best bets for the weekend from Lee Sterling right here. So keep it locked to the only locally owned sports station in South Florida. We are OnSideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan. Listen to every Inter-Miami CF match on your home for La Rosa Negra, OnSideRadio.com. Catch us every day on the MyTuner Radio app. If you missed Onside Zone with Big O, you missed.
Big O, Tito is not allowed in the Boom Boom Room. Never seen Smokey and the Bandit. Never seen Top Gun. What's the matter with these kids? Look at that. Now you can't hang out with Salma, Paige, Sophia. See, now you can't hang out with the ladies because you have not seen Top Gun.
Yeah, I would just hope that, like I said, the Boom Boom Room is sanitized. I would hope.
Well, I don't know, but did you hear about the 81-person orgy?
No.
What is wrong with you?
The Onside Zone with Big O, only on OnSideRadio.com.
Join the Inter Miami family in 2021 by becoming a 2021 season ticket member. Enjoy enhanced access benefits and pricing not available to general fans. Visit intermiamicf.com/tickets for more information.
Keeping you informed in the world of sports. With an OnsideRadio.com sports update.
The Dolphins released Bobby McCain yesterday and added cornerback Jason McCourtney. The Miami Marlins swept the Arizona Diamondbacks yesterday, and Adam Duvall, Miguel Rojas each had a home run. Milwaukee's in town tonight at 7:10, and the reigning National League Rookie of the Month, Trevor Rogers, will be on the mound for your Fish. Miami Heat welcome the Minnesota Timberwolves tonight at the AAA. Tip-off is at 8. The Florida Panthers are back on the ice on Saturday at the BB&T Center as they welcome the Tampa Bay Lightning for a pair of games to end their regular season. And guys, don't forget this Sunday, Inter Miami CF welcomes the Atlanta United to Drive Pink Stadium at 1 p.m., which means Big O and Alex Donno will get you started. For the Onside Radio pregame show starting at noon, leading into the call of the game with Chris Woodingham, Thomas Brogman, and Fernando Fiore at 1 p.m. You're listening to South Florida's only locally owned sports talk station. And guys, coming up, it's more of Man of the Match with Alex Donno right here on OnsideRadio.com.
Parents, we know we can't protect our kids from everything. Eventually, they're going to bump their heads or scrape their knees. But we can protect them from 6 types of cancer. HPV, or human papillomavirus, is a common, preventable virus that can cause cancer later in life. The HPV vaccine prevents human papillomavirus and all the cancers it can cause. The American Cancer Society recommends getting your sons and daughters the HPV vaccine starting at age 9 to protect them later in life.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
You're listening to the station with more live and local sports talk than anyone else in South Florida. OnsideRadio.com. Broadcasting from South Florida to the world. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
We had a couple of really good questions about Inter Miami from Anthony Monsanto in the YouTube chat. I want to circle back to those because I need to devote a few minutes to those because he had a couple of good questions that he raised. On the Dolphins, yesterday was a busy day for roster moves. Bobby McCain gets released in the morning. In the afternoon, the Dolphins take a flyer on a college basketball player to play tight end. And obviously this is one of those things. If it doesn't work out, they'll cut him loose. Or if he can become something really special, it's a genius to find this guy. The Dolphins now have like 30 tight ends on the roster. Jibri Blunt was signed yesterday. So he's 6'7". So if he can learn to run some routes and block a little bit and catch, he could end up being a tremendous mismatch, but total project. The Dolphins also signed veteran defensive back Jason McCourty, 12-year vet from the NFL, and he's got the Brian Flores connection. Played in New England, knows Brian Flores very well from his time there. I look at this move as an insurance policy. Good to have a veteran presence in the locker room. As we've learned from the last couple of years, the Dolphins are not afraid to sign some veterans and then just sort of, use them up and they go on their way. Now, this is only a 1-year deal for Jason McCourty, so this isn't one of those things where he signs a 2 or 3 year deal and then they cut him and take a cap hit next year. He's here on a 1-year deal, McCourty. And a couple things he has going for him, well, really one thing he has going for him that Bobby McCain didn't is McCourty is going to cost you less, right? The Dolphins saved $5.5 million under the cap by getting rid of Bobby McCain yesterday. sucks because I love McCain. Great guy, very good player. It's a business move. As we talked about yesterday, it's nothing personal, it's business. And I don't believe, I checked a couple of hours ago, I don't think we have the actual financial term of the McCourty contract, but it's going to cost you considerably less than what Bobby McCain was costing you for 1 year. And much like McCain, he does offer versatility. According to Barry Jackson of the Miami Herald, Dolphins are apparently receptive to him taking snaps at safety in addition to cornerback. So there you go. Barry Jackson wrote, Dolphins, in signing Jason McCourty, left open with him the possibility of using him at corner and safety per source. 1-year deal. Could back up Howard and Byron Jones and also compete with Holland to replace McCain and Brandon Jones at free safety, wrote Barry Jackson. So you're going to notice that with a lot of these moves the Dolphins have made over the last few years is when you bring in some of these veterans, when you bring in some of these 1-year deals or lower cost deals, they're making sure they're getting guys who can cover multiple positions in the defense. Like that seems to be the statement here, that this could be like a break glass in case of emergency, and you can plug him in a bunch of different places. We're going to talk about that, among other things, when Omar Kelly joins us in less than an hour. He's going to be on with us at 4:35 today. So we have Omar at 4:35. In the 5 o'clock hour, we'll have George Richards talking some Panthers. We got a couple big games with the Lightning coming up this weekend. George Richards from Florida Hockey Now is going to join us at 5 o'clock sharp. We're going to talk with our pal Frank Crivello from the Serie A Sit-Down and World Football Index at 5:20. But when we come back, we're going to get our best bets for the weekend with Lee Sterling from ParamountSports.com. Hey, every Thursday, 7 to 9 p.m., catch my new show here, Fight Night. The show is dedicated to combat sports. We had the debut last night. It was so much fun. From boxing to the UFC to bare-knuckle brawling, we provide combat sports fans the insight and interviews they crave. Tune in every Thursday night from 7 to 9 p.m. for Fight Night. Search and subscribe to the podcast by searching Fight Night on the home for combat sports, OnSideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You're listening to the only sports station in South Florida that likes to take your calls. 888-441-4623. We connect with a South Florida sports fan because we are South Florida. Locally owned and operated. 888-441-4623. OnSideRadio.com. South Florida's home for real sports talk. You can connect with us at OnSideRadio.com by sending us a text at 844-416-8123. Save it on your cell phone, 844-416-8123. No better place to send your comments, ask questions, win prizes. OnSideRadio.com, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan. Every Thursday, NBA fans can catch one of the best basketball shows in the country when Ethan Skolnick and Ira Winderman host Inside the Paint. Listen to two of the most knowledgeable and connected reporters in the business. Get year-round insight every Thursday at 10:30 a.m. with Inside the Paint on the home for hardcore basketball fans. OnSideRadio.com.
Big O for M&S Air Conditioning. You know, air quality in your home and business is more important than ever. That's why you've got to call M&S Air Conditioning and let them install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit. Folks, it attracts, captures, and destroys biological contaminants to improve your air quality. With stellar customer service, answering your call from 7:30 a.m. till 9 o'clock p.m. For more info on high-efficiency air filters and their preventative maintenance plans, visit M&S Air Conditioning at ac-florida.com.
Hey, what's up? It's Toast, and I've been telling you guys all about my buddies over at B&T Windows and Doors. And some of you said, hey, listen, Toast, I'd love to get PGT custom windows and doors installed, but funds are a little tight right now. No problem, bro. Y Green. You can finance it with B&T Windows and Doors through Y Green, so you can still get your PGT custom windows and doors installed. And yeah, you're not going to have to put anything down. It's awesome. That's the way I got mine installed. Call B&T Windows and Doors today. They'll tell you all about Y Green and how to finance your windows. 954-233-0126. That's 954-233-0126.
You're listening to the station with more live and local sports talk than anyone else in South Florida. OnSideRadio.com. Broadcasting from South Florida to the world. BYB Extreme Bare Knuckle Fighting Series presents BYB 5. Saturday, May 15th at the fair at Tamiami Park. Meet Dada 5000. See bare knuckle brawlers fight live in BYB's patented triangle ring. The Trigon. The smallest and most confrontational ring in combat sports. Early action includes slap fights as seen on YouTube. Buy your tickets now at BYBtickets.com for BYB 5. Saturday, May 15th. Doors open at 6 p.m. BYB is proudly sponsored by BMCHam.com. Your choice for gold and silver. BMCHam.com.
When you're looking to add that extra style and protection for your home or business, visit A Shade Above Window Fashions in Davie or Sunrise, where plantation shutters are a major part of our business, and they look great in any home. We have them in white, stained colors, and wood tones. We can even motorize your shutters like the one in the OnSideRadio.com studio. A Shade Above Window Fashions, 954-434-4774. That's 954-434-4774. Love the space you live in. A Shade Above Window Fashions.
You're listening to the only sports station in South Florida that likes to take your calls. 888-441-4623. We connect with a South Florida sports fan because we are South Florida. Locally owned and operated. 888-441-4623. OnSideRadio.com. South Florida's home for real sports talk. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
We didn't have a regular show last Friday because of the NFL draft shows, and I really miss Lee Sterling. I think the listeners did as well. ParamountSports.com is his website. He joins us on Fridays, gives us some winners for the weekend, and those who have been listening to Lee consistently for the last several months with us, you have won money. Lee has done very well with us. And Lee, like I was telling you earlier today, I've been doing pretty well on my own the last couple of months betting soccer. This week has not been good to me, though. I'm 0 for 4 on my Europa League and Champions League bets, so I really need your guidance to get us back on track this week. How are you?
Good. I hope you're cutting back a little bit now, right? On your wagers on the soccer.
Well, you know, when I lose, I chase, Lee. No, I'm just kidding. I'm cutting back a little bit. Yeah.
Well, one of my daughters is in Vegas for the weekend with her boyfriend, and go 4-0 for her last night, and so she says, "Yeah, I lost $200 playing roulette. I'm down $25, so I need to get it back." I'm like, all that work for 4-0 and just gave it back just like that?
That's the magic of Vegas. That's why there are all those beautiful hotels in Vegas, because even when people win, they find a way to still lose.
Oh, I've seen people go on tilt. I mean, literally lose $25,000, $30,000 in 20, 30 minutes. So I've seen it all before. So.
Oh, man. Well, and I know we're going to get to it. We'll probably do some games first, but I was really excited when I was texting with you today, and you told me you love the UFC card this weekend. Yep. So I'm sure we'll get there. But what do you like this weekend, Lee?
Okay. So what's going on right now in Major League Baseball, the pitching? I mean, if you watched the Marlins game last night, what was Arizona doing? Lifton Baumgartner, after he's thrown 85 pitches and only given up 2 hits. Just insane. I mean, it's not like he's throwing 95 miles an hour. He's throwing 82 to 88. So a lot of times I like to, take that part out of the game. So I think I found something here in a game today. It's a first 5-inning play. So sometimes these are some of the easiest plays. And what I'm going to look at here is I'm going to take the Arizona Diamondbacks, who played last night, and they've got some problems hitting the ball right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to put them with the Mets in the first 5 innings and play the under 3.5. Now, here's my thinking. David Peterson's home and away splits as a starting pitcher for the Mets, pretty stunning. On the road, he's just 3-4 with a 4.30 ERA, but at home, he's 4-1. and his ERA drops a full point to 3.30.
Wow.
He's a left-handed pitcher that throws a ton of breaking balls, and he's getting a Diamondbacks offense that has absolutely gone cold the last 3 games, scoring just 4 runs. On the other side, pitcher Zach Gallen goes for Arizona, and he's probably the only true ace on that staff, coming off his first bad start of the season. I love to play pitchers that are aces off a bad start. He allowed 4 runs in 4 innings, but otherwise he's been really good in his career on the road, giving up just 2.52 ERA. So I think both of these offenses are due for some regression, and it might already be hitting the Diamondbacks. So I see a 1-0, 1-1 score, maybe at most 2-1 after 5 here in this one. So we're going to play the under 3.5. Usually when you see a real low total for the first 5, under 3.5, but usually it's that low for a reason, and just don't want to let the bullpens get involved.
I like it. What else we like?
All right, so we're going to look at a hockey play, and what we're going to play here is the St. Louis Blues first period money line, plus 140. So what we've been seeing all year, we've seen it in this series before. Vegas has no problem getting out to an early lead, but here, when they've been playing St. Louis, they usually are at an early deficit, and they come back in the third period. That's why the over is 8-1 the last 9 in this series. It's why Vegas is 5-2 the last 7 at home against St. Louis. But this is a good spot for the Blues and a not-so-good one for Vegas. The Knights play 2 here and then play Colorado to clinch the division. If they haven't already by that point, they've played tough games with the Avalanche all year and have some blowouts with St. Louis recently. So they're also in the first home game off a long road trip stop of the year, and they played 3 very tough games in that span. St. Louis is pretty hot right now. They're coming off another loss to the Ducks with a chance to clinch a playoff berth tonight. And I think with Lerner in the nets tonight for the Knights here, I can easily see St. Louis getting off to another early lead. So I'm going to take the St. Louis Blues plus 140. If it's 1-1 or 0-0, it's no bet. But I can see them up 1-0 or 2-1 after one. Also like a team total. I like the Philadelphia Flyers team total over 2.5 goals. Now the Flyers are not going to be in the playoffs. They're at a point in the year where they can mail it in defensively because the bonuses. People don't realize this. There's a lot of big-time bonuses for hockey players, not for defensive, but for offensive players. So they need goals, assists, points to get to those extra 6 figures in their pockets. Washington in a bit of a bad spot here. They're coming off a massive game against the Rangers. Did you see that game where they just dropped gloves as soon as the puck was dropped?
Yes, that was so cool.
Love that. So it was almost out of a movie. So they had some injuries in that game due to the fight. They lost their starting goaltender and their number 2 center for COVID precautions for the second time this year. Washington's also without some other key players. So we're going to play Philly over team total, over 2.5 here, minus 115.
I love it. And anything we like in the UFC this weekend, Lee?
Yeah, so here's about, now remember, the first fight starts tomorrow at 5 o'clock.
Right.
So we're going to play, we have a selection here on one of, I think it's the 4th fight on the undercard. So it's this fight between Ultimate Fighter 27 winner, 29-year-old Michael the Lone Wolf Trezano. He's going off against 26-year-old Slovakian Ludovic Mr. Highlight Klein. So both fighters, nice records, impressive. Trezano's 8-1, Klein 17-2. But a further look at their records reveals a lot in this one. So Trezano's 2 UFC wins were by split decision, one against the fighter who was cut right after that by the UFC the next day, and the other against Louis Violent Bob Ross Pena. And after that fight, Pena switched camps. So he was so upset with his performance. So other than those 2 fighters, Trezano is yet to defeat a fighter who at the time has had more than 4 wins. In his last fight against Grant Dawson, he was dominated and submitted in 1.5 rounds.
Yeah.
When Klein made his debut almost a year ago to the day, I actually went back and watched as much video as I could on him, and this kid is a real talent. I was very surprised he's not being talked about more. He's on an 8-fight winning streak with 7 finishes, and get this, his last 3 by head kick.
Nice.
So he absolutely, as the young fellas say, murked his only UFC opponent, Shane Young, by head kick and punches in 1 minute and 16 seconds. Michael Trezano, I think he's going to be seeing stars Saturday night, and I'm not talking about Beyonce and Jay-Z. We're going to go with Klein here by stoppage. Ooh. And what that means is either a KO, TKO, submission, punches. If the referee stops it, just don't want it to go to a decision. So we think he's going to win it first couple rounds. If not, by the third round, it'll be all over. So plus 110, Ludwig Klein by stoppage.
Fantastic. Before I let you go, I like to ask you about the local teams. Do you have any feeling on Heat and Timberwolves?
So I actually would play Minnesota if you're forced to play a side here. So I went to the game on Tuesday night. He's got some real problems. I think even with Jimmy Butler, they've got to have Tyler Hero back and also Oladipo on the wing. They just can't guard anyone. Yeah. Kendrick Dunn, not a great defender. Duncan Robinson, mediocre at best. Goran Dragic, never been much a defender. They even had to play Max Strus, I think 14 minutes and 20 minutes for KJ Okpala, who is, I think I could probably do a better job than he could out there. He looks lost. So right now, Minnesota's a team, maybe the last game or two, I would stay away from. But right now, I mean, they are scoring. I mean, they got D'Angelo Russell averaging over 19 a game, Karl Anthony Towns almost 25 a game, and Anthony Edwards averaging almost 19 a game. So they're playing at a high level now. And what are they doing scoring? Oh, my God. I mean, this is a team that they beat Miami 3 weeks ago.
Yep.
They just ran them out of the building. But since that time, their last couple games, they scored 135, 136. Week before that, 125 and 134. So I think Miami's going to try to slow down the game. But and if they even do that, 6.5 points is a lot here. I like Minnesota. I think this is a game that comes down to one possession.
Really good stuff as always. And I want to let people know next week Lee is going to make an appearance with me on Fight Night next Thursday night. He's going to give us a big breakdown of the upcoming UFC 262 card. So I'm really looking forward to that as well, Lee. And thank you so much for the time as always.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we'll hit on 4 or 5 fights. So
love it.
They want to tune in. We'll start looking at the card on Sunday morning for next week, and I've already see some things in a look ahead we like. So going to try to just keep on winning. We won almost 80% of the cards this year in the UFC.
Boom. And make sure you guys are taking advantage, by the way, because Lee provides excellent service on his website. And he doesn't pay us to come on. We don't pay him to come on. But check out his site, ParamountSports.com. Everything you need is right there. Lee, thank you so much. We'll talk to you next week.
Sounds good. Take care.
Really good stuff there. And man, yeah, those look like some solid picks. I mean, I'm going to lock in because I think the first 3 of those are for this evening. So you know what I'm going to be doing during this commercial break? I got to lock in those picks, baby. Hey, Inter Miami CF fans, join us for every road game as we broadcast live from Dangerous Minds Brewing Company. That's 1901 North Federal Highway in Pompano. Join Big O and myself. Enjoy delicious food, and it really is good, and incredible house drafts and giveaways. Inter Miami CF fans, your new home for every road game is Dangerous Minds Brewing Company in Pompano. Follow them on Twitter at Dangerous Minds B and Instagram at Dangerous Minds Brewing.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You're listening to the home of Inter Miami CF.
His strike is a decent one. It's fired into the top right corner. Gonzalo Higuain opens his account for Inter Miami.
OnsideRadio.com, where the passion for La Rosa Negra runs deep.
Inter Miami CF fans, join us at our new home this season for all away games as we broadcast live at Dangerous Minds Brewing Company, 1901 North Federal Highway in Pompano Beach. Join Big O and Alex Donno for the live pregame, halftime, and postgame shows while we watch the games. Enjoy meticulously brewed beer on site, delicious artisanal pizzas, live music, and giveaways. So, the new home for all Inter Miami road games is at Dangerous Minds Brewing Company at the Pompano City Mall, where they'll feature all the Inter Miami games. Follow them on Twitter at Dangerous Minds B and Facebook and Instagram at Dangerous Minds Brewing, and visit them at dangerousmindsbrewing.com.
When you're looking for curtains and blinds to create a space of your own, look no further than Bandalux. Bandalux can tailor your space to your needs. Create the atmosphere and ambiance you desire. We invite you to discover it at Bandalux.com. Explore our new solar control systems, range of sustainable fabrics, and energy-efficient solutions that can improve your well-being and quality of life. Witness Bandalux Beauty. Go to Bandalux.com or follow them on Instagram at Bandalux_official. For a personal experience, A Shade Above Window Fashions in Davie and Sunrise is an official Bandalux partner.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
You're listening to OnsideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the MyTuner Radio app. OnsideRadio.com, South Florida's true hometown station. You're listening to the station with more live and local sports talk than anyone else in South Florida. OnsideRadio.com. Broadcasting from South Florida to the world. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno.
It's all yours. Just keep it right here.
You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Yes! 4 o'clock hour, Man of the Match with Alex Donno. I'm Alex Donno with you here till 6 o'clock on OnsideRadio.com. So I love it. Rafa in Miami was asking me about, did the Dolphins sign another tight end? And I said, well, since yesterday, I'm not sure, because they seem to sign a tight end every day. But yesterday they signed tight end Jibri Blunt, who only played basketball in college. And yeah, Rafa's right. We talked about this yesterday. He says he just looked it up, and it's Mel Blunt's son. His father was a hell of a player, tough as nails, a former Pittsburgh Steeler, I think. And yeah, second generation. Except, the kid is freakishly tall, freakishly athletic. Try him out at tight end. If it doesn't work out, no harm, no foul. You cut him loose. If it does work out, maybe we found the next Antonio Gates. Maybe we found the next Jimmy Graham. How about that when you talk about basketball players converting to tight end? It's happened a lot, my friends. It has happened a lot. If you want to get in via the text line, 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Or you can get in via our YouTube channel. Just subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can leave us comments on the live chat. I'm very active on there, as you guys know. And I thought we had a couple of good questions on Inter Miami from Anthony Monsanto. I wanted to circle back to those. Anthony says, hey, Alex, with the rumors coming out of Spain specifically, their media saying that Lionel Messi wants to play there for 2 more years and then go to Major League Soccer. Does he go to Inter Miami, New York, or Los Angeles? First thing I'm going to tell you is Spanish media is not always very reliable when it comes to soccer rumors. Now, obviously, the Spanish media would have more of a specialty in Spanish clubs, so I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm just saying that there's a lot of tabloid nonsense that comes out of there. Same thing with England. Believe it or not, the best soccer transfer reporters are in Italy. Fabrizio Romano, Gianluca Di Marzio are probably the 2 best guys in the business. They're both Italians. I take a little pride in that. But no, I could totally see it. it's amazing that, Messi might actually end up staying in Barca for a couple more years after last summer. I mean, last summer he wanted out badly. Last summer there was so much friction. He was desperately trying to get out of there, but they basically held him hostage, and maybe now he's decided, you know what? There's some equity that comes in with being a one-club man. And, yeah, I mean, he got his boyhood start at Newell's Old Boys, but as far as, like, professional clubs go, he's Barcelona. Like, he's synonymous with Barca. He's had a bit of a different legacy than Cristiano Ronaldo, who had his magical times in Manchester United and at Real Madrid and has, been an absolute albatross at Juventus, but he's done it with multiple different clubs, whereas Lionel Messi has been synonymous with one club. So he may now have decided, I want to finish my European club right here, my European tenure, and then I want to go over and kind of follow in the footsteps of, David Beckham and finish my career in Major League Soccer so I can get that rub from the American media, which is good for branding. Even though soccer's not the number one sport here, this is still a media powerhouse, like for people to finish their careers, and he could become an ambassador for the game in the United States. Honestly, if he winds up in Major League Soccer, I would feel pretty decent about Lionel Messi coming to Inter Miami. I wouldn't be nearly as worried about New York City FC because New York City FC was talked about a lot with Messi, but that was last year when people assumed he was going to sign with Manchester City. So if he had signed with Manchester City, who's owned by the same company that owns New York City FC, that would have been the transition, that if Messi were to go to Man City, he'd play there for a couple of years, and then he would stay under the same ownership, and they would move him to New York City. So that made a lot of sense. But if he bypasses Manchester City, then that really shrinks their odds of landing Messi. You can never rule out the LA thing because a lot of bigger names end up there. So, I wouldn't completely rule out Los Angeles, but Miami has now really become a sexy market. I mean, we've only had the team now here officially, actually playing games just a little bit over a year that players have been able to come and sign here. And this has become a sexy market. There's a big Argentine population here. Messi and Grazianos would seem like a match made in heaven. I'm sure Gonzalo Higuain has already taken advantage of that, and some of the other Argentinians on the squad. But it's a reasonable plane ride down here to Argentina. There's a big Argentine population here, so there'd be a lot of opportunities, for Messi to really thrive in this community. I'm not telling you to get excited and expect it to happen, but if he were to come to Major League Soccer, I would like our chances down here probably more than the other couple of teams you mentioned. Now, the only X factor is, does Major League Soccer hate us so much that they're going to say, oh, well, you can't sign Messi because that's going to count as 3 DPs, and we're going to sanction you guys again. I don't like the way that Don Garber is treating us down here. And Anthony also asked, hey, Alex, has Major League Soccer finished up their investigation with Miami about Blaise Matuidi, where they used the targeted allocation money, and have they come up with a punishment? No, and it's getting very aggravating. About 3 weeks ago, we had the opening game here. Well, 3 weeks ago, the findings were initially announced. They haven't detailed them yet, but they announced that they had decided Inter Miami acted improperly in signing Blaise Matuidi and holding him as TAM instead of DP last year. And then about 2 weeks ago, Don Garber, the commissioner, was here at our stadium, and he addressed the media. And they asked him that question, hey, what's going on with Matuidi? Where are the sanctions? This was weeks ago, and he said, we're going to announce the findings and the sanctions within a week. It's over 2 weeks later, still hasn't come, almost 3 weeks now. Haven't heard anything. I don't know what to make of that. I'm getting annoyed. I know we're still a long way from this, but it reminds me a lot of the Nevin Shapiro thing, where the NCAA dragged their feet for so long and we had to live under the cloud. Now, I don't think the sanctions that come out of this Matuidi thing are going to be anywhere near as severe. I mean, I look at a couple of clues here. Major League Soccer wants their own league to thrive. And if they really penalize us hard for bringing in too many good players, then that puts your own league in a tough position. So, but at the same time, Don Garber also has other owners of Major League franchises to to answer to, and they may say, hey, like, listen, if they had a different playing field than we had with signing players, they need to be punished for it. So there's going to be something. I don't know if it's going to be a fine, some sort of a slap on the wrist. It's going to be something, but I don't think the sanctions are going to be as severe as point deductions and obviously you can't do relegation because we don't have that in American soccer, so you don't have to worry about that. I don't think it's going to be anything very severe because, quite frankly, it's in Major League Soccer's best interest that this franchise thrives because this is a very high-profile franchise. So I really don't think it's going to be anything that severe. And I also think, based on how long it's taking just for them to announce the findings, maybe the Don Garber strategy is, if I don't talk about this for a few weeks, people will forget about it, and then we just move on. If that's the case, he's my bro again, Garber. Like, Don Garber would be my boy again if he's just letting everyone forget about this, and then we just kind of move on to the next thing. I'm still upset about the process because, you see time and time again, European clubs get penalized, slapped on the wrist. I know we have some Chelsea soccer bros who listen because you love Christian Pulisic and you're lifelong Chelsea fans for like the last year and a half. You're lifelong fans. And you'll remember a couple summers ago, like Chelsea had a transfer ban for violating a rule. We've seen them try to punish Manchester City and PSG before, but those clubs are Teflon. They always get away with everything. So like in Europe, it's different because the clubs act autonomously and they sign whatever the players they want for as much money as they want. And then after the fact, they have to show their financials to UEFA, and UEFA decides after the fact whether or not they violated or they're compliant. So the clubs act as their own entity in Europe. What frustrates me so much about this Matuidi saga is Major League Soccer is a single entity league. So every time a contract gets done, you bring in a player from overseas, you give them a contract, Major League Soccer are the ones who do the contract. They work with you every step of the way. It's not like that in Europe. The teams act autonomously, and then they have to answer to UEFA later. In Major League Soccer, they do all the contracts with you. So, listen, I can only speculate as to what they think they have against Inter Miami, but it's still pretty frustrating because they were a part of that process every step of the way. So the whole thing has felt like a witch hunt. It really has. Now on a very positive note, I think the Herons are going to get a victory over Atlanta United this weekend. Atlanta have not been in incredible form lately. Inter Miami had a really heroic effort, missing so many important pieces on the road in Nashville last week to even get a 0-0 draw. It was a massive result because they were supposed to lose that game. No Higuain brothers. Pizarro playing an unnatural position and not looking very good. You lost Nico Figal in the warm-ups. Now, this week, I can tell you, because Phil Neville confirmed it this week, Nico Figal will not be available. He picked up an injury in the warm-ups last week against Nashville. He's not going to play tomorrow, or Sunday, sorry. He's not going to play Sunday. And Robbie Robinson, not going to play Sunday. Phil said Robbie's day today, so it sounds like he could be the first one to return, but that Figal is going to miss a few games, he thinks. So, but at least you've got the Higuain brothers back, and at least you can play Pizarro in his natural position. We just need to develop that chemistry between Pizarro and Higuain. Pizarro talked about that this week, that the two of them haven't really developed the whole nonverbal communication and when you see someone who's like an attacking midfielder and a striker or a strike partnership, in this case it's the attacking midfielder and the striker, you need to have this sort of understanding where they're going to be in complementary areas of the pitch at all times, that they're able to feed each other and interplay with one another. And, we've seen Higuain, he drops back a lot into the midfield to try and create his own chances when he's not getting enough service, and maybe he bleeds into Pizarro's position a little bit. And then on Pizarro's standpoint, I can be very critical of him sometimes because the ball doesn't move enough with him. He takes an extra touch or two too often when he needs to feed much quicker. Now, we did see the two of them link up nicely in the opening game against LA Galaxy, It was Pizarro feeding Higuain, who then assisted Robbie Robinson for the first goal. And you go back to last season, and Higuain did assist Pizarro on a goal late last year. So they've connected before, just not often enough and consistently enough. But I think they're going to beat Atlanta United. I mean, Inter Miami were a tremendous home team last year. You know, I know that they suffered the season opening loss at home against Galaxy, but they played really well. It was just individual errors that cost them that game. I think the crowd is going to have a lot to do with it this week. I think Inter Miami are going to get a 2-1 victory against LA Galaxy, and then we'll stick it to all the haters, right? To all the MLS soccer bros who want to see this franchise cease to exist because they're jealous of our sunshine, they're jealous of our women, they're jealous of the fact that we bring high-profile players down here, and that Messi is even being mentioned in the same conversation for a couple years down the road with Inter Miami. You know, those losers from Minnesota and Canada and wherever these haters come from because they're miserable, we're going to stick it to them this week. Atlanta as well. Atlanta, you're not off the hook, man. 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. We continue the 4 o'clock hour. Remember, at 4:35, Omar Kelly from the South Florida Sun Sentinel is going to join us, and we're going to talk plenty of Miami Dolphins with him. You know, we're going to talk about the new tight end. We're going to talk about Jason McCourty signing. When we come back, I'll take it. The Miami Dolphins are getting some respect in this power ranking. We'll get to that and more when we return. Hey, we would like to thank A Shade Above Window Fashions in Davie. A Shade Above teamed up with Bandalux to personalize and create the Onside Radio shade here in beautiful pink and black. To order protection with style for your home or office like we did, call A Shade Above Window Fashions at 954-434-4774. Go to their website, ashadeaboveflorida.com. Love the space you live in. A Shade Above Window Fashions.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You can connect with us at OnsideRadio.com by sending us a text at 844-416-8123. Save it on your cell phone, 844-416-8123. No better place to send your comments, ask questions, win prizes. OnsideRadio.com, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan. If you missed Onside Zone with Big O, you missed.
Hey, Big O, what's going on? Listen, I just was telling your guy that answering the phone, Alex, it's just a pleasure, man, to get out of work and get in your car and be able to put on the radio and hear South Florida sports and not have to listen to some bull crap about another team from another state that you can give to a rat's ass about and sit there and have to go through all this other bull crap talk to, again, never hear them talk about your team once or twice in 20 hours. It's just an honor, and I wanted to thank you, man, for starting this thing up, man. It's balls to the walls. I love it.
Onside Zone with a Big O from 12 noon to 3 p.m. every weekday on OnsideRadio.com.
Inter Miami CF fans, join us at our new home this season for all away games as we broadcast live at Dangerous Minds Brewing Company, 1901 North Federal Highway in Pompano Beach. Join Big O and Alex Donno for the live pregame, halftime, and postgame shows while we watch the games. Enjoy meticulously brewed beer on site, delicious artisanal pizzas, live music, and giveaways. So, the new home for all Inter Miami road games is at Dangerous Minds Brewing Company at the Pompano City Mall, where they'll feature all the Inter Miami games. Follow them on Twitter at Dangerous Minds B and Facebook and Instagram at Dangerous Minds Brewing, and visit them at dangerousmindsbrewing.com.
Hey Panthers fans, Dave Dwork here with some awesome news. Every Saturday, I'm going to bring you the latest on everything to do with the Florida Panthers with Chirping the Cats Radio. Saturday mornings from 10 to 11 a.m., we'll dive into the state of the team, recap games, and hear from past and present Panthers players, and plenty of other great hockey guests too. Got questions about the Panthers? Call or text the show and we'll break it down. Don't miss Chirping the Cats Radio, Saturday mornings from 10 to 11 a.m. only on OnsideRadio.com.
Big O for M&S Air Conditioning. You know, air quality in your home and business is more important than ever. That's why you've got to call M&S Air Conditioning and let them install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit. Folks, it attracts, captures, and destroys biological contaminants to improve your air quality. With stellar customer service, answering your call from 7:30 a.m. till 9 o'clock p.m. For more info on high-efficiency air filters and their preventative maintenance plans, visit M&S Air Conditioning at ac-florida.com.
Fish fans, time to reel in the latest news in baseball with OnSideRadio.com's Marlins Minute. Here's Christian Chase.
Last night, the Miami Marlins swept the Arizona Diamondbacks in a 3-1 win. Pablo Lopez took the mound, and although he didn't have his best stuff, was good enough to get out of some jams. And with a really electric night from the bullpen yet again, the Marlins' really solid team ERA continues to go down, allowing only 1 run against the Diamondbacks last night. A Diamondbacks team that has been hitting the cover off the ball up until this series, where they in total only put up 4 runs. And the Marlins are only 2 games back now in the NL East still, and not only is the present bright with their stars like Lewin Diaz, Jesus Sanchez, and even Monte Harrison performing in AAA, and the rest of these picks performing in the minors, the future is bright as well. The Marlins are 3rd in the NL in run differential, only trailing now to the Giants and Dodgers with a +20 differential. They have a few tough series ahead, but this is a huge positive note for a team that was just swept by their division rival, the Washington Nationals.
Keep up with the latest on the Miami Marlins by subscribing on most platforms by searching Onside Radio.
ADHD. It's the child who can't pay attention or sit still in school, right? The answer may be yes. Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, or ADHD, can be complicated, and it can last a lifetime. Living with a condition can sometimes be a challenge. It may take years to accept a formal diagnosis, and it's not always easy to find the right treatment plan. Did you know that up to 75% of children and adolescents with ADHD have at least one additional mental health condition that also requires a comprehensive approach to treatment? ADHD guidelines were recently updated to reflect the need to screen for associated disorders. Be sure to talk with your child's doctor about proper screening and visit more2adhd.com for additional information. That's more2adhd.com. This message has been brought to you in partnership with ADA, ACO, and CHAD.
Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Yeah, welcome back in to Man of the Match here on Onside Radio. We're going to be talking in about 12 minutes with Omar Kelly from the South Florida Sun-Sentinel. Talk some Miami Dolphins with Omar. I want to get Omar's opinion on the best fast food burger. I wonder, and I know he's going to be bummed when I give him the rule that it's got to be drive-through only. That bummed out a lot of people. Did that bum you out, Alex, to know that?
Not really. I was like, okay, it's like we'll make do what we got. You
Right.
know, as Pocho says, we have enough. We have enough.
We have enough. So I was looking through the updated USA Today NFL Power Rankings. They updated them after the NFL Draft. Now, you know, we've got a clearer idea of what the rosters are going to look like come September. We're going to obviously see some tweaks and changes. I mean, the Dolphins might have signed 5 more tight ends by September. But I'm pretty honored by this as a Dolphins fan. So USA Today has the Miami Dolphins ranked. What do you think, Alex? 1 to 32. What's your prediction on where USA Today has Miami ranked in their power rankings?
Do I have to give an exact number, or can I give a range?
No, give me an exact number.
Exact number? Okay.
Be bold.
Be bold. Okay. I give the Miami Dolphins 14.
Better.
Wow.
Number 9.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Hey.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
In the top third of the league.
Yeah.
Well, in the top third of the league. So USA Today has the Miami Dolphins ranked number 9 in their updated power rankings for the NFL draft, after the NFL draft now, heading into the 2021 season. Here's what they say. The Dolphins experienced the most remarkable positive transformation in the 2020 season, going from a 5-11 tankathon in 2019, and those of us who actually really follow them know they weren't tanking. I mean, everyone said they were tanking or they should be tanking, but they didn't tank. I mean, if they were tanking, they wouldn't have won 5 games, believe me, because that roster was not really 5-game good. Brian Flores stretched every ounce of productivity out of an inferior roster. And Ryan Fitzpatrick had a lot to do with that, because Fitz was magic in 2019. And in 2020, we got a little of the Fitz magic sprinkled in with some Tua sprinkled in. But he writes they went from a 5-11 tankathon in 2019 to last year's 10-6 mark, leaving them a hair away from their first postseason berth since 2016. Based on the offseason put together by general manager Chris Greer and head coach Brian Flores and his staff, Dolphins fans might want to start thinking about playoff tickets. How about that? With their 2 first-round picks, Miami selected Alabama's Jalen Waddle 6th overall, edge rusher Jalen Phillips 18th overall. When you get perhaps the best receiver and definitely the best edge defender in a class with your first 2 picks, that's pretty decent. Second-round safety Javon Holland from Oregon is an ideal, versatile fit for Flores' defense. And as long as Tua Tagovailoa has a strong second-year developmental curve, well, they're probably not ready to wrest the AFC East away from the Bills. And Bill Belichick is always larger in your rearview mirror than he appears, they write, but the Dolphins have the look of that proverbial team no other team wants to face. How about that? And listen, at least they're giving enough respect to Tua to say that Dolphins are a top 10 team in their eyes, a top 9 team in their eyes. I'm sure there are a lot of charlatans out there who would come up with their 1 to 32 power rankings and would say, well, I don't know about that Tagovailoa, so maybe Dolphins 17, 18, 20. What do you think? Listen, Tua's going to be better. The talent around him is better. The offensive line, which was really young last year and has been tweaked a little bit, is going to be better. I don't know if your running backs are any better, but I do think it's going to be easier to run the football when you have receivers like Will Fuller and Jalen Waddle stretching the field, because you can't stack the box against the Dolphins anymore. So I think that in itself is going to do wonders for the running game, and Myles Gaskin is going to be the beneficiary of that. And I'm curious to see what young Jared Dokes can do. Don't expect him to be an every down back or a featured back or anything like that, but I think the Dolphins might have gotten a guy in the 7th round who should have been valued a little bit higher. We know running backs get devalued. So I like that. Miami Dolphins, number 9 in the power rankings. I'll take it. I'm looking through the rest of their top 10. Not much of a surprise here. They got Tampa Bay ranked number 1. I think most folks would either do Tampa Bay or Kansas City. Now, Kansas City, I don't know if they still are, but shortly after the Super Bowl, they were actually favored to win the title next year. But I don't know if people expected Tampa to bring everybody back. I mean, even Antonio Brown is back. Like Tampa is keeping the band together. I think people thought they would lose more of their important players. Yeah, obviously, we didn't think Tom Brady was going anywhere. But they've got Tampa number 1. They got Buffalo number 2. How about that? Los Angeles Chargers number 3. Not a whole lot of respect for KC. They got the Green Bay Packers number 4. God, do I have to now call shenanigans on this entire list here? I mean, if Aaron Rodgers is quarterbacking the Packers, I'm not going to argue with them being in the top 5. I'm not optimistic Aaron's a Packer next year. This is heading for a divorce. It can either be really ugly if he sits out or retires. It can be kind of ugly if they trade him. Although at least if they trade him to a place like Denver, you're sending him out of the conference, so you don't have to contend with him hypothetically until the Super Bowl. Not that I'd expect the Packers to get there. Broncos maybe if they get Rodgers. But at least you're trading him out of the conference, and you get some nice pieces in return. But no, I mean, it's hard for me to sit here and say I'm expecting Rodgers to be a Packer. But maybe when the old folks at USA Today put together this list, they said, you know what, he's a Packer right now. We just work with the information we have in front of us, so we're just going to hypothetically assume he's a Packer. Don't know about that one. Number 5, they got the Baltimore Ravens. Not a whole lot of respect for Kansas City here. They got the Kansas City Chiefs at number 6. That's interesting. The Chiefs' injury-depleted offensive line was last seen exposing Pat Mahomes to the best defensive game plan Buccaneers defensive coordinator Todd Bowles ever put together Tackles Eric Fisher and Mitchell Schwartz are off the roster in financial moves, but that may not have been just a couple of cap moves. Kansas City may be moving from a zone-based blocking system to more of a gap, counter, trap, pull set of concepts in which power is the order of the day. The 2020 signing of guard Kelechi Osemele, if I'm saying that correctly, may have presaged this transition, and the trade of their 2021 first-round pick for Ravens tackle Orlando Brown seems like the defining move. So then number 7, they've got Cleveland. Number 8, WFT, old Washington football team. 9, our Miami Dolphins, of course. And number 10, the Tennessee Titans. How about that? We finish one spot ahead of Tannehill. We eat. We move. All right, when we come back, we're going to talk Miami Dolphins. We'll get I want to get Omar's final take on the NFL draft. It was great. We had Omar on during our draft party a few times to react to the Dolphins picks when Big O and I were out there at Sports Grill in Bird Road. But I'm going to get Omar's full recap on that. Plus, I'm sure Omar was a big fan of Bobby McCain, the person, the way that I am. Omar, of course, covers the Dolphins very closely. He had a lot of interactions with McCain. So I'm anxious to get Omar's thoughts on the McCain release, the McCourty signing, and the signing of Jibri Blunt, to potentially be a tight end, and how much he thinks the Dolphins have gotten better over this past week. So Omar Kelly is going to join us next here on Onside Radio. Hey, Onside Radio enters Kai's Corner with Kai Chen Chisholm every day from 10 a.m. to noon. Join Kai as he discusses the biggest stories in South Florida sports. Tune in every day, 10 a.m. to noon, for Kai's Corner on the home for South Florida Sports Talk, OnsideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You can connect with us at OnsideRadio.com by sending us a text at 844-416-8123. Save it on your cell phone, 844-416-8123. No better place to send your comments, ask questions, win prizes. OnsideRadio.com, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
Now that it's springtime, it's only getting hotter here in South Florida. Make sure your AC in your home or business is running smoothly by investing in a preventative maintenance plan from M&S Air Conditioning. And M&S is a Mitsubishi Diamond Elite contractor. When you purchase a new Mitsubishi electric mini split system, you'll get a 12-year warranty. Or install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit that captures and destroys biological contaminants to improve air quality. M&S Air Conditioning have been providing prompt, honest, and reliable service for over 30 years. Schedule service or call to get more info on our preventative maintenance plans. Call 954-421-3680 or visit ac-florida.com.
There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Keeping you informed in the world of sports. With an OnsideRadio.com sports update.
The Miami Dolphins released Bobby McCain yesterday and added cornerback Jason McCourty. Miami Marlins swept the Arizona Diamondbacks yesterday. Adam Duvall and Miguel Rojas led the charge on offense, with each of them having a home run. The Fish host the Milwaukee Brewers tonight at 7:10, and Trevor Rogers, the reigning National League Rookie of the Month, will be on the mound for your Fish. The Miami Heat welcome the Minnesota Timberwolves tonight at the AAA. Tip-off is at 8 p.m. The Florida Panthers are back on the ice Saturday at the BB&T Center as they welcome the Tampa Bay Lightning for a pair of games to end their regular season. And guys, don't forget, this Sunday, Inter Miami CF welcomes the Atlanta United to Dry Pink Stadium at 1 p.m., which means Big O and Alex Donno will get you started with the Onside Radio pregame show starting at noon and leading into the call of the game with Chris Woodingham, Thomas Rodnan, and Fernando Fiori at 1 p.m. You're listening to South Florida's only locally owned sports talk station. And coming up is more Man of the Match with Alex Donno right here at OnsideRadio.com.
Inter Miami CF, your official furniture and mattress store, is here. City Furniture is your #1 home source for the trends you want at the prices you'll love, including exclusive City Furniture collections, the widest selection of styles, affordable home accents, mattresses starting at just $99 and more. Create the home of your dreams fast with next-day delivery, plus get 60 months special financing with no down payment. Because City Furniture is here to make it easy so everyone can live life like this, visit cityfurniture.com.
Riddle me this. With all this sizzling meat and crunchy veggies nestled between toasty flatbread, who should get credit for Papa John's new papadilla? The person who invented pizza or the person who invented folding? Well, whoever it is, a tip of the tongue hat to you, sir or madam. Get a new papadilla, 4 flavors, just $6 each. Better ingredients, better pizza, better than a sandwich. Papa John's.
My daughter Brinley is here at St. Jude. Coming here was literally life or death, and it was so scary. But St. Jude is fighting for one goal, like this one mission, life. And that gave us hope. We haven't received a single bill from St. Jude, so I really can just focus on what's best for Brinley.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. Brace yourself. You might not hear what you want. You can always expect Omar to keep it real, whether you like it or not. It's time for the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report with Sun Sentinel writer Omar Kelly. EJD is your one-stop shop, custom home builder, and general contractor for residential construction. Call them 305-433-4843. Find them on Facebook at EJD Construction. Here's Omar Kelly with your Miami Dolphins report segment.
We love getting that Friday honesty from Omar Kelly, South Florida Sun Sentinel. He joins us now on the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. Omar, what is the week after the draft like? Because, I mean, obviously last week, complete, pure chaos. And then this week you have to do all the draft recaps. And the Dolphins have made some roster moves the last couple days, which we'll talk about. But, I mean, how busy has this week been compared to last week?
Well, Dolphins have kept us busy with the Malik Hooker visit, the Bobby McCain release, the signing of a former basketball player, the signing of Jason McCourty. So, I mean, it's not like I'm around here twiddling my thumb. I just wrote a piece on the Sun Sentinel, hopefully trying to make an effort to sell the Dolphin fans on why Miami did not address the running back position in this draft. While me and you and the world view the position as something that desperately or definitely needed upgrading, Dolphins viewed it as, hey, we got a pretty good duo of young talent. We added Malcolm Brown as our power back, and we believe in Miles Gaskin, and there's proof, but behind why we believe in Miles Gaskin, when in his productivity. I recently wrote a column which sort of explained to Dolphin fans, hey, if Miles Gaskin just had not gotten hurt, I'm talking about had gotten more work, more carries, or more touches, or more throws. No, just if he hadn't suffered a knee injury and hadn't caught COVID. He would have been statistically and was on pace to be the 4th most productive offensive player in the NFL. And I know that shocks you, shocks me, but I put the numbers out there. It's undeniable. Like, just what he was doing, at the rate he was doing, he would have been the 4th most productive offensive player in the NFL. And you can't argue against it because I'm not giving him more carries. No, I'm giving him this pace at his 14.2 touches per game, at his 4.1 receptions per game. He would have produced nearly 6,000 yards.
Now, with that said, if Denver hadn't moved up and sniped Javonte Williams right before the Dolphins' 36th overall pick, do you believe the Dolphins would have drafted Javonte Williams, or were they going to go Javon Holland no matter what?
I think they were always going to draft Javon Holland. And I know that's the proper thing to say after the fact, after you do the draft. But, I said that in the morning. Javon Holland's not the 32nd best prospect in this draft. And knowing Chris Greer, he is a big believer in BPA. There are still first-round talents left on the board. There was still their number one safety left on the board. And I felt they were probably going to go safe. Now, I picked the wrong safety. I picked the TCU kid because I would have had him rated higher. But I'd also heard that they like Javon Holland better. A number of people had told me, hey, they're real big fans of this Javon Holland. And, I can understand why. I just, he looks a little tiny for me, but not to say that Bobby McCain is big, because he's not.
And speaking of Bobby McCain, he's no longer a Dolphin. You covered him, of course. I covered him for a few years. This is just a reminder that football is a business, and it can be incredibly cruel, because Bobby McCain, great dude, and did a lot for this team, playing a number of different roles. He was very flexible. But
did absolutely nothing wrong except for the fact he was making too much money and it wasn't guaranteed.
Exactly. So with that said, were you surprised whatsoever by Bobby's release yesterday?
I was, just from this standpoint. While I had been advocating for Miami to sign Malik Hooker, and while I had heard that they were going to draft a safety early the week of the draft, I heard that the week of the draft and started scurrying and trying to find a safety that would fit them and what their thought process was, because safety is just not something that I really studied during this draft because I was blindsided by it. But I will say this. It does surprise me because Bobby McCain is the leader of the defense. Like, it's him. And what do you do when you banish the leader of your defense on a very young team and you don't really have anybody to replace him? I guess you sign a Jason McCourty.
Yeah.
And guess maybe he plays safety because he knows your defense from his history with the Patriots. And, while it's a cheaper option and it buys you time, because I didn't think Javon Holland would be a day one ready to jump in there and be a starter. That's just generally not how things work in the NFL at important, critical thinking positions, and safety just so happens to be one of them. If you don't have the right player back there, it's going to lead to a ton of breakdowns. But hey, everything that this Dolphins team has done this offseason has been about fast-forwarding this rebuild. All the players that didn't fit properly last year, or all the players who were advanced in age and really had no upside, so why invest in them this year? They got shown the door. And unfortunately, even though Bobby's 27, he got shown the door too. And I'm a little surprised by it. Sure. It's very callous.
It really is. It's a very callous business. Is there any chance Malik Hooker could still sign, or is that ship sailed now with the McCourty sign?
Oh, I certainly hope so. I don't understand how Jason McCourty, and I don't know the dude. I do know the dude. I like the dude. I like him as a player. But he's an old cornerback, probably moving to safety, veteran leader, presence, do everything right, say the right thing, quarterback of the defense type guy. And yeah, it'll buy time, by a year. And if it doesn't go, then, hell, he comes a nickel corner. But I will say this: Malik Hooker is the ideal player that I want in my, in my secondary. He's the person that can get me turnovers, and as I've told you before, I'm not a big believer that Xavier Howard is going to be able to deliver 11 turnovers again this season. I just, that's being a little bit greedy.
Omar Kelly from the South Florida Sun Sentinel is with us here on Onside Radio. What was your final thought, Omar, on the Dolphins draft itself? Because the last time I spoke to you was during the second day, so you didn't really have a chance to really digest even the first 4 picks and into the first 5. How did you feel about the players that Greer came away with?
I think they had a very good draft. I think it addressed a lot of the needs. It also did what I said, which is advance forward in terms of getting themselves ready for what's going to come in next year. It also, you can't complain about a draft where you get your number 2 wide receiver, your number 1 defensive end, your number 1 safety, your number 2 tight end, and an offensive lineman that you like so much. You traded a 3rd-round pick next year just to beat the run on the position. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you this is a bad draft. But the one thing I do not like about the draft is I didn't think they addressed running back in a fashion that they probably could have. But then again, Myles Gaskin's a 7th-round pick. Myles Gaskin is a 7th-round pick who's gone on and ascended to put himself in position to be a 1,600-yard producer as a 7th-round pick. Why can't this Jared Dokes kid? You just never know.
You mentioned the Dolphins drafted a tight end. Hasn't stopped them from signing tight ends. They take a flyer. They take a flyer on Jabri Blunt, who he only played basketball in college. He is the son of a Pro Football Hall of Famer. So, do you view this move as just taking a shot at somebody? Do you think this could actually develop into something?
I think it's just a practice squad body. Yeah. I think it's just a guy who is going to compete for playing time. And on the practice squad. I mean, who knows? I mean, here's the thing that I thought about. Logan Thomas, believe the quarterback from Virginia Tech, that was here developing as a tight end, and it was a good investment the Dolphins made in him. A year on the practice squad. Then he goes on. He goes to other teams. He goes to Buffalo. He goes to Washington, and now he's an NFL starter. You just never know. So yeah. It's time that they get a new tight end to invest in, and clearly they see something in him that allows him to make that transition. And it makes me think of Jimmy Graham. I remember when Jimmy Graham was at UM, and I think you believe you covered those teams.
I covered him playing
Jimmy
basketball.
Yes, Jimmy Graham was my favorite Hurricanes basketball player, except for Guillermo Diaz, because I loved the toughness and the physicality that he brought to the game. And I used to harass Frank Haith, like, dude, why aren't you starting Jimmy Graham? Why aren't you starting Jimmy Graham? Why aren't you starting Jimmy Graham? And he used to always tell me, he's like, if I started Jimmy Graham, he'd foul out in 6 minutes. and it was true. Because Jimmy was like the most physical basketball player I'd ever seen. Like, Jimmy just hacked people. And it's funny that people think he's a soft tight end. But it took some time for him to develop as a tight end. So, who knows what this project leads us, but I'm interested to see them make that experiment.
Speaking of tight ends, any chance Tebow ends up actually playing tight end in Jacksonville, Omar? Honestly, it may be.
Come on.
So you think it's going to happen? Well, and honestly, listen, if he had made this switch 8 years ago, I think he would have been thriving in the league. So I'm just wondering if it's too late. But he has the traits to be an elite tight end in this league. I just wonder if it's too late for him now to start.
What does Tebow have to do to get you to believe? Do an NFL combine? What are we going to have to do to get you? I mean,
Tim Tebow, he's got to perform 7 or 8 miracles. Now, I already saw him like a kid at a baseball game was having a seizure, and he touched the kid on the shoulder, and he was healed. So he's performed.
You're lying.
No, I'm serious. There's actual video. There's a video. A kid was having a seizure. He touched the child, and then the child was healed. Fine. So listen, he's about 6 miracles away.
Yeah, if there's ever a coach who could make this happen, wouldn't it be Urban Meyer?
100%.
I mean, Tim Tebow is responsible for the legacy that is Urban Meyer. What has he done?
He won one before Tebow. He did win before Tebow, to be fair. I think Tebow was a freshman, but he didn't really play.
Tebow was on that team. Tebow was on that team.
Okay.
He did score touchdowns on that team.
True.
But don't disrespect Tebow, football god. But I mean, this is about Tim Tebow strengthening his speaking circuit, life. And let's be real about it. Urban Meyer's going to create that opportunity. The problem with signing Tim Tebow is you can't cut him.
No.
So you really got to make sure that this is what you want to do. So I'd have to see him working out. I'd have to see him run a 40, bench press, see what kind of shape he's in. But, I mean, think about it. If you're Urban Meyer, you tell him you're going to have the opportunity. Imagine how hard Tim Tebow's going to work. Imagine the reality series it's going to be. Does Tim Tebow do enough to give himself a chance?
This is going to end up being the next chapter of the Bible. This is going to be the New Testament. In 1,000 years, this will be in the Bible.
I believe you, too. That's a sad thing.
The New Testament. Omar, last thing before I let you go. It's Foodie Friday. What is your favorite fast food burger? Now, the rule is it's got to be something.
Shoot.
It's got to be something you can get in a drive-through. So
okay.
So you can't go Five Guys or Shake Shack. It's got to be a drive-through item.
Oh, I'm a Burger King guy, and
nice.
In fact, I'm a Burger King over just about every burger guy. I don't like anything else, but I like a Whopper.
Flame broiled.
I get it with extra pickles, no mustard, no mayo, no cheese, clearly, and cut in half. And they do it just. That's one thing I like about Burger King. They do it my way. I'm the boss.
You are the boss. I never even thought of getting it cut in half, but that's not a bad idea because it's easier to eat in halves.
Absolutely. You should. If you're getting a Burger King burger and you don't ask them to cut in half, you're not doing it your way. You're just doing it the way that the man wants you to do it.
Somebody told me something that blew my mind earlier, Omar. One of our texters says that when she gets burgers at Burger King, she asks for 2 bottom buns because she doesn't like the sesame seeds on the top bun. So you can actually ask them for 2 bottom buns and they'll do it.
You can ask them whatever, and Burger King will deliver. That's the one thing I like about Burger King. Have it your way. Think about it.
I am.
What in this world gives it to you your way other than Burger King? Certainly not your wife, Donno.
No. As soon as the wedding day happened, that was over.
Yeah, absolutely. You better preach on that, Donno. But yeah, anytime my wife disappoints me, I go right up to Burger King and be like, yeah, let me get a Whopper my way.
Too good. Oh, man, you can check Omar out. Check out his work in the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Follow him on Twitter at Omar Kelly. I love that Whopper cut in half. I got to try that. Omar, thank you so much, man. Have a great weekend coming up.
All right, guys. All right, talk to you, Donno.
That was tremendous. Yeah, a couple things I've learned today. Honestly, next time I go through Burger King, I'm going to get a Whopper with 2 bottom buns cut in half, and I'm just going to feel like I'm sticking it to the man.
I've never even heard of that. Of a Whopper cut in half, you can order that, but then again, you have it my way.
They'll do it, yeah. I'm sure they'll do it.
I have another question for you because everyone always talks about Tim Tebow, like he can be this great tight end. Where did that come from? Maybe I'm a little too young for people because this was years ago already when he was still in Florida.
It's size and athleticism.
Just size and athleticism,
yeah.
Really?
Yeah. No, but he's got moves. Like when Tebow gets into the open field,
yeah.
He can run over you. He can juke you, or at least he could.
He's a big guy, that's for sure. Yeah.
Just like he looks to me like that is a prototypical mismatch again, because that's the modern tight end. We've talked about it so many times. The modern tight end is all about the mismatch, right? For some guys, you just get it through the pure speed at that position. Tebow, he looks big enough that he can block. He's obviously, big enough that it's going to be really tough for a defensive back to catch balls over him, even linebackers. I don't know. He seems to have a prototypical NFL tight end body, and I think he's athletic enough to be able to catch the football and do something with it. And from being, a longtime quarterback, he understands,
True.
What route running concepts should look like with, having to go through route trees to throw passes. So I think he could be a great tight end. Again, my take has always been he should have started this transition years ago. Like, he never should have gone to play baseball. He should have transitioned to tight end, honestly. 844-416-8123. We'll wrap up the 4 o'clock hour when we come back here on Onside Radio. Remember, George Richards is going to join us at 5 to talk some Florida Panthers. Hey, Saturdays from 1 to 3 p.m., baseball fans can go deep into the count with Alex Aguirre and Christian Chase. Catch the show that talks Marlins and all the big stories in the major leagues. Every Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m., Seamheads have a new home. Listen to Deep Into the Count exclusively at OnsideRadio.com.
This has been the EJDConstruction.com Miami Dolphins Report with Omar Kelly. From additions to home remodeling, call Eric at 305-433-4843. Count on a company that's an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. EJDConstruction.com. We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Join the Inter Miami family in 2021 by becoming a 2021 season ticket member. Enjoy enhanced access benefits and pricing not available to general fans. Visit intermiamicf.com/tickets for more information.
Hey Panthers fans, Dave Dwork here with some awesome news. Every Saturday, I'm going to bring you the latest on everything to do with the Florida Panthers with Chirping the Cats Radio. Saturday mornings from 10 to 11 a.m., we'll dive into the state of the team, recap games, and hear from past and present Panthers players, and plenty of other great hockey guests too. Got questions about the Panthers? Call or text the show and we'll break it down. Don't miss Chirping the Cats Radio, Saturday mornings from 10 to 11 a.m., only on OnsideRadio.com.
You're listening to OnsideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the MyTuner Radio app. OnsideRadio.com, South Florida's true hometown station.
Inter Miami CF, your official furniture and mattress store, is here. City Furniture is your #1 home source for the trends you want at the prices you'll love, including exclusive City Furniture collections, the widest selection of styles, affordable home accents, mattresses starting at just $99 and more. Create the home of your dreams fast with next-day delivery, plus get 60 months special financing with no down payment. Because City Furniture is here to make it easy so everyone can live life like this, visit cityfurniture.com.
If you missed Onside Zone with Big O, you missed.
She's kind of young, so I don't know. She may not be into Van Halen much. Let's see. Hey, Ruthie, good afternoon. Are you a Van Halen fan?
You know, I just had to Google Van Halen. I'm not going to lie to you. I just literally have it on my computer right now.
The Onside Zone with Big O. Weekdays 11 to 1 p.m. Only on OnsideRadio.com. You're listening to the station with more live and local sports talk than anyone else in South Florida. OnsideRadio.com. Broadcasting from South Florida to the world.
Can I get a captain?
Captain and what?
Captain and Ginger.
I can't hear you.
Captain and Ginger.
He was a captain and Ginger. Captain and Ginger. He was a captain and Ginger.
Captain Morgan, official partner of Major League Soccer.
Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Ryan Little.
Yo, in a few minutes, we're bringing on George Richards from Florida Hockey Now to talk some Florida Panthers. NHL playoffs are right around the corner. I'm going to sit down at the round table. Every day, all the hosts here at Onside Radio, from Toast to Kai to Big O to me in the afternoon, we all weigh in on a big local or national topic. Actually, in the case of today's topic, it's both, because it's a big national topic that's going to happen here locally in our backyard. The hype for Mayweather Logan Paul started yesterday at Hard Rock Stadium. This is a fight card led by Jake Paul, while Chad Ochocinco is on the undercard. Will you pay to watch this so-called fight card on June 6th? Will you watch it off someone else's dollar, or will you avoid it altogether? I'm going to be brutally honest here. I am able to separate fun from what I would consider a great fight. There's nothing on this card I would consider a great fight. This is just an event. It's a freak show. It's a circus. Whatever you want to call it, all of those terms apply. With that said, I'm going to be at Hard Rock Stadium. You bet your ass. I've already requested my credential to cover the fight. I'm going to be a working member of the media at Floyd Mayweather versus Logan Paul, because the people watching is going to be great. It's going to be nice to be at an event. Am I right? I'm fully vaccinated now. You know, we're turning the corner on COVID-19. I've had cabin fever for the last 15, 16 months. This is going to be fun, man. Now, this is in my backyard. I'm going to go to this event. I'm not expecting to see the Thrilla in Manila. Like, I know I'm not getting Balboa Creed 2, okay? I'm not getting Balboa Drago, all right? I know Alex Aguirre is happy about the Rocky references. I know what I'm getting into. It's a circus. It's a freak show. It's going to be a lot of fun. Now, if the card wasn't local and if I wasn't going to the stadium, if you're asking me would I pay for it, this is not the type of fight I'm going to shell out, $70, $80 for a pay-per-view and sit alone on the couch and watch it. No, this is something you share with your friends. This is something you don't buy this at home. Now it's probably not worth spending the pay-per-view money on it, but this is the type of thing you go to the sports bar. Like the sports bars are going to have this thing, hang out with your friends, get really drunk, and then it's going to be more fun, the actual event. This is going to be very pirated, I'm sure. Piracy of pay-per-view fights it's becoming more and more and more of an issue lately. So I'm sure there's a lot of people who are going to go that route. But listen, I would highly recommend don't take this too seriously. Come out to the stadium, enjoy it at Hard Rock, or if you can't come out to the stadium, or maybe you don't feel comfortable getting into a packed stadium, get a few friends together, go to the sports bar. Just have fun, man. No, you're not going to be watching one of the greatest fights in boxing history. You're watching a train wreck, okay? So just know what you're getting into. But, yeah, I'm going to end up attending it, and one way or the other, even if I'm a member of the media and I'm not paying for a ticket, I'm going to end up spending some money on gas, on food, merchandise maybe. So they got me, bro. I'm going to enjoy it. All right, George Richards from Florida Hockey Now is going to join us next here on Onside Radio. Hey, start your morning every day at 8 a.m. with Toasted Sports. Toast covers all the local sports stories while providing some great Miami Hurricanes insight. So download, subscribe, rate, and review his podcast, Toasted Sports, 8 to 10 a.m. only at OnsideRadio.com.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding? Whoa! Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie. So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You're listening to OnsideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the Radio.net app. OnsideRadio.com, South Florida's true hometown station.
Hey, what's up? It's Toast. May is here, which means hurricane season right around the corner. You need to get PGT custom windows and doors installed in your house so that you're fully protected when we get a big storm coming on through. For those windows, only one place to call. My buddies at B&T Windows and Doors. They've been doing it in South Florida for decades, and they will set you up with the best of the business. PGT custom windows and doors. 954-233-0126. That's 954-233-0126 for B&T Windows and Doors.
Miami Dolphins fans can always count on the best coverage at OnsideRadio.com. Every week, keep up with your favorite team as Dolphins writer Omar Kelly joins us with exclusive reports. And when news breaks, catch the EJDConstruction.com Miami Dolphins report on the home for Dolphins fans everywhere, OnsideRadio.com. You're listening to the flagship station of Inter Miami CF, OnsideRadio.com. Follow us on social media at Onside Radio. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno.
It's all yours. Just keep it right here.
You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Yeah, 5 o'clock hour, a man of the match with Alex Donno. With you for another hour here on OnSideRadio.com. Trying to track down George Richards. Does he have an appointment or something? Didn't pick up. Hopefully he'll pick up the second time. So we got to talk about these big Florida Panthers versus Tampa Bay Lightning matchups coming up. These are, wrapping up the regular season here. Home on Saturday and home on Monday versus Tampa Bay. It's going to decide seeding for that opening series. So you hope the Panthers can get the 2 seed because you'd rather have 4 of 7 at home against the Tampa Bay Lightning. You'd much rather have the first game and the 7th game. Hopefully, I was going to say hopefully it gets to the 7th game. Hopefully it doesn't because I want the Panthers in 4. Let's bring in our good pal, George Richards from FloridaHockeyNow.com. Does an excellent job covering the Cats. Good afternoon, George. How's your week been treating you, man? We're almost here to the weekend, sir.
Yes, sir. How you doing, Mr. Donno? What's going on, buddy?
I'm doing really well. Hey, before we talk some Cats, I want you to weigh in on the Foodie Friday topic for today. What is George Richards' favorite fast food burger? Now, my rule is we're considering it has to be something you can get in a drive-through. So it's got to be something you're able to drive through to get. Your favorite fast food burger?
All right, if we're going drive-through, so I guess Flanagan's is out.
Yeah, Flanagan's is out.
Yeah, Char Hut is probably a fringe.
Great
but
call.
It is a drive-through.
Yeah.
Char Hut's got the best burger in South Florida, aside from like Flanagan's, or Shula's or something. But for your traditional fast food, I know where you're going with this. I will go with Wendy's.
Okay, that's been a popular choice, George. And actually, I'm surprised that a lot of people, I never would have expected this because I don't feel like they're that popular these days. A lot of people have been caping up for Burger King and caping up for the Whopper. The flame broiled, I think, does make a difference. I haven't eaten a Whopper in a long time. Is that on your short list?
Dude, yeah, the Whopper is its own animal. I mean, the Whopper is good, man. I mean, sometimes you just got to have a Whopper. Sometimes you're like, I want some of them pickles and that tomato, and yeah. But for overall quality, the Wendy's burger is pretty good.
I like where you went with Char Hut. I used to live near one, and for the last 7-8 years, I have not lived anywhere near one, so I haven't had it in way too long.
That used to be a Dade Broward thing. Now it's more of a Broward thing.
It's just a Broward thing now. Yeah, for a couple of years, I lived in Plantation, and I had a Char Hut close by, but I'm down in southern Dade County now, so I'm completely shut out, George. I'm anxious for some Char Hut. Now you reminded me.
No Royal Castles anymore either. We can't. Well, I think there's one Royal Castle, but they don't have a drive-in. So
right. Hey, so we got a couple big games coming up for the Cats.
Yeah.
Wrapping up the regular season with a pair against the Tampa Bay Lightning. George, how important would it be for the Panthers to have home ice advantage for that series, as the Lightning, of course, are the likely opponent?
I think it's important because you want to start at home, right? I mean, you don't want to have practice all week and then fly to Tampa, even though it's a short deal. Florida's been good at home, and they've been good on the road. So, honestly, it doesn't really matter, I don't think, because, I don't see Tampa Bay winning both of the first 2 games at home. I think that there would be, and I think, and vice versa. I don't think Florida would win both of the first. So, the home ice is going to flip during the series anyway, most likely. So, I think you do want Game 7 at home, and that's the biggest thing. But, it's important for just, for rights, because they're playing these last 2 games. These last 2 games are going to determine it, right? I mean, So you want to be feeling good about yourself going into the playoffs. You don't want to be, going into the playoffs in a losing streak, especially when you're playing the team, that you're facing in the playoffs.
Yeah, and the Panthers have done pretty well in the regular season against Tampa Bay up to this point, which is, it has impressed me. But how would you actually handicap a 7-game series between these two squads? Because obviously Tampa, George, seems to me like the type of team that could be able to flip some kind of a switch in the playoffs, because they are the defending Stanley Cup champions, so they're very battle-tested. So what would be the biggest challenges in your eyes in a series against the Lightning?
I just think that they're the Tampa Bay Lightning. I mean, they're like the Lakers, or, they're like the Heat back in the day. They definitely have a different gear in the postseason. They can play any way you want. If you want to play, you want to play a close-knit 1-0 game, they can do it. They've got the best goalie in the game. They've got really tough defense, and they can hit you. If you want to play a wide-open style, they can do that too. They've got the guys that can score. And players who haven't been out there, Steven and Nikita Kucherov, will miraculously be back to the playoffs, it appears. So they're getting two of their best players back, and they're out now.
Hey, hold on, George. I want to.
Okay, we won't jump ahead. We won't jump ahead.
No. It's not that the connection got a little bit poor. So I just want to. I want to see if I don't know if you moved into like a weird spot or something, or if there's anything.
No.
Hold on. I might pop you back on hold really quick, and we'll see if Alex can do something to maybe fix the connection, because I just wanted to make sure that we get all the information we need from George, because I don't want to miss anything crucial there. So the YouTube chat is getting going here. Everybody in. Hey, make sure, by the way, when you're in watching us, make sure you smash the like button, hit the thumbs up button, do us a big solid there. We got Rosendo in there. Ray is in there. Actually, Roy and Ray are in there. Roy and Ray are in there. RC in the 305. Troy Ortiz is in. Troy says, are you kidding? Tebow playing tight end is like you trying to play center. It's a publicity stunt because Tebow is probably broke. All right, we got George back. Georgie, let me hear your beautiful voice, my friend. How are you?
Hi, Pally.
You sound much better. So,
good.
Yeah. So let me get into we caught most of what you said about the series, but I want to ask you your confidence in the goaltender position for the Panthers. Do you expect that Sergei Bobrovsky could hit like an on button and really become the Columbus Sergei, or are we going to have to kind of figure out whether Sergei or Drieger are going to be our better option here?
You have to hope that he can do that. He's the guy of the three goalies that Florida has right now, the one with the experience. Chris Drieger's never been in a playoff game. And Spencer Knight, is a 20-year-old rookie out of Boston College who's 4-0 right now. But, the NHL playoffs are a different animal. And who knows, maybe we see him. I don't think we'll see him early. But right now, it's Sergei's net. And Joel Quenneville basically said that today based on his past, based on his contract. That's the reason he's here. And I think, I don't think people really remember last year in the bubble in Toronto. The Panthers had a lot of trouble with the New York Islanders, and Sergei Bobrovsky was not one of them. Sergei looked terrific against the Islanders, and he looked like Big Game Bob. He kept the Panthers in those games against the Islanders. So he did flip the switch last year for all the uneven play. When it was go time, he brought it last year. So you have to think that he understands the how big this is for them right now, and I think he'll answer the call.
Could we see Aaron Ekblad in that first round series, or might he not be ready unless the Panthers advance?
No, I don't think so. He hasn't skated or anything like that. He's waiting, maybe the Eastern, not the Eastern. They don't have those this year. Maybe the third round he could come back. I mean, because you figure it takes 2 weeks to go through a round, usually until the next round starts. So, it would take a month to get there. Maybe then, but even then it might be pushing it. So that's a medical thing. It depends how he's healing and all that, and none of us know the answer to that. So, they're gonna keep a real close eye on anything regarding him because he's a franchise defenseman.
Before we let you run, what's your prediction on these next two games against the Lightning before the playoffs start? And do you think the Panthers will be the 2 seed or the 3 seed?
It's hard to tell because Tampa Bay plays tonight in Dallas. They could lose tonight in Dallas, and they could if Dallas gets 2 points and Tampa gets nothing, then the Panthers are sitting pretty. I mean, they'd still be tied, so you'd still have to get a couple points here or there. But I think the Panthers are going to handle their business. They've got them on a back-to-back tomorrow, which is in Florida's favor. So you've got to like Florida's chances on Saturday night. And then Monday's going to be kind of a free-for-all. I don't know how both teams are going to take these games. You really just don't know. Are these going to be looked at as exhibition games, or are both teams really gunning for game 1 and 2 at home? I really don't know how they're going to handle it. We could have some really weird hockey this weekend.
We will certainly find out. Awesome stuff here as always from George Richards. That's where you follow him on Twitter, just his name, @GeorgeRichards, and check out his work at FloridaHockeyNow.com. George, thank you so much. You've really made me crave Char Hut, so I might have to take care of that craving this weekend. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right, my man. Be good, brother.
Awesome stuff. Now, Char Hut aside, actually, I do have carry-out plans tonight. So here's what I'm doing, Alex. My wife and I tonight. We're two days late on Cinco de Mayo, but we're gonna do tacos tonight. And I can't speak for my wife, but I'm doing tacos and tequila. I'm a big drinker. Her, not so much. So I'm going to be going full-blown Cinco de Mayo on Siete de Mayo tonight because, I was too busy a couple days ago. Couldn't celebrate on Wednesday night, which I'm kind of like the everyman because South Florida is honestly one of the few places where people always celebrate on the actual day of the drinking holiday, no matter what day of the week it falls. Because I noticed that in other parts of the country, St. Patrick's Day, for example, they will hold their St. Patrick's parades and festivities on the Saturday that's closest to St. Patrick's Day. Whereas here in South Florida, whatever you're doing, you stop and you drink all night, and work be damned if you have to wake up early the next day. So I'm going to do that. I'm gonna go like a Midwestern style and celebrate Cinco de Mayo on Siete on a Friday night. We'll do it up big. When we come back, going to talk a little soccer with a good friend of the show. And I've got to do a little gloating because I'm an Interista, an Inter Milan fan. They have clinched the Serie A title. They've clinched the Scudetto. And my very good friend Frank Crivello, he's a Milanista. He cheers for the crosstown rival. And his team's fighting to stay in top 4 and go to Champions League. Whereas my team, with 4 games left, we kick our feet up and we celebrate a championship. So I'll have to rub it in his face a little bit. And I know Frank, of course, is going to bring it strong because there is a massive game this weekend between Juventus and AC Milan, which is, whoever. It's not like a guaranteed decider because they still have 3 more games left even after their clash on Sunday. But that matchup is going to go a long way to deciding which of those 2 teams qualifies for the Champions League because there may only be room for one of them. This town may not be big enough for both of them. And he can also talk about Jose Mourinho getting appointed by Roma this week, which really came out of left field. Obviously, we all know Mourinho's been out of a job since he was let go by Tottenham a few weeks back, but I thought Roma was moving for Maurizio Sarri, and then out of nowhere, they announced Jose Mourinho. Frank Crivello from the Serie A sit-down at World Football Index is going to join us next here on Onside Radio. Hey, every day at Onside Radio, our hosts sit down at the round table to tackle the most important local or national sports headlines. The round table is podcasted daily. Search OnsideRadio.com on all platforms. Subscribe, rate, and review to listen to all kinds of station segments. OnsideRadio.com is the home for South Florida sports.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You can now watch Onside Radio daily by subscribing to our YouTube and Twitch channels. Search Onside Radio. Log on, subscribe, rate, and review Onside Radio on YouTube and Twitch. Find out why Big O has a face for radio. OnsideRadio.com, South Florida's home for real sports talk.
If you're looking for a change from the everyday restaurant, then you need to get to Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant in Pompano Beach. Brats, Wiener Schnitzel, homemade potato pancakes, pretzels with mustard, and lots of German beer. Take their famous Boot Tour Challenge, and there's now outdoor seating available in their new beer garden with live music. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Checkers Old Munchin Restaurant or call them for reservations or pickup at 954-785-7565. So get over to 2209 East Atlantic Boulevard in Pompano Beach to Zagat-rated Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant.
Inter Miami CF, your official furniture and mattress store, is here. City Furniture is your #1 home source for the trends you want at the prices you'll love, including exclusive City Furniture collections, the widest selection of styles, affordable home accents, mattresses starting at just $99 and more. Create the home of your dreams fast with next-day delivery, plus get 60 months special financing with no down payment. Because City Furniture is here to make it easy so everyone can live life like this, visit cityfurniture.com.
I'm Ryan Seacrest. First responders are people who stand for a greater purpose. They will be there for you when nobody else is, to help you, your family, your community. This is their selfless promise. This is their sworn duty to protect, to serve, to help. They put themselves in harm's way for us. They come to the rescue at times when we need them most. First responders are making enormous personal sacrifices to keep showing up for us and fighting the good fight. Nearly 70% of all firefighters are volunteers. That means when they get injured or quarantined, they may not have a way to pay their rent or keep their family safe and fed. No matter who you are or where you live, when you call 911 and ask for help, first responders show up. Now, let's show up for the people who show up for us every day and every night.
Go to firstrcf.org and make a difference today.
You're listening to the station with more live and local sports talk than anyone else in South Florida. OnSideRadio.com. Broadcasting from South Florida to the world. You're listening to OnSideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the MyTuner Radio app. OnSideRadio.com. South Florida's true hometown station. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. Check this out. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
So great catching up with our really good friend, Frank Crivello, who is the co-host of the Serie A Sit Down, which is an excellent show. It's a podcast, but they also stream it live. He and his co-host, Richard Carmen, is also a really great dude. They go live on Sunday nights. They recap all of the Serie A results, and it's quite frankly, it's the best damn breakdown of the entire league that you will find. And you know, Frank, I'm gonna try not to gloat too much, sir, because I've got my feet kicked up here. I don't have to really worry about what happens in these next 4 games because Inter have already clinched. It's a good feeling, my friend, and I want to let my listeners know you are an awesome dude. Your co-host, Richard Carmen, is awesome, and I will tell you that because obviously someday Milan will win another Scudetto. They'll win more Scudetti, and I want to be as gracious to you guys who support Milan as you've been to me supporting Inter. I remember you guys congratulating me after the Derby win back in February. I believe I congratulated you guys on your Derby win earlier in the season, though, and you guys have been nothing but kind to me since the Scudetto has been confirmed. So thank you for that. And with that said, how you doing, man?
I'm doing all right, man, and no problem. I mean, at the end of the day, it's sport. I don't have a physical investment in this, you know. I've got a rule, and and I told Richard this, and we say this on City I Sit Down all the time. Once that final whistle blows, if you don't like the result, you got about 5 minutes to be disgusted and disappointed, maybe break something tasteful, but then you get on with your life, right?
Yeah, no, I think that's a great rule. And listen, just to kind of and there's a lot, I want to talk about away from Inter and the Scudetto because the Champions League race is very compelling. But I would like on your take. I would like your take on the season that Inter had, and what in your mind really separated them from the pack.
I think that there was a handful of key decisions that Antonio Conte made that helped contribute to Inter winning the title. Now, and these were comments that we made on our podcast earlier this week. Number one, I don't know if they have the gap that they have, and I don't even know if they're top of Serie A. If Conte was stubborn and continued to force Alexander Kolarov on the left side of that back three. He makes the decision. He figures out really early in the season that he just doesn't have it anymore. He can't defend, and he gives Alessandro Bastoni a chance. And if you look at Antonio Conte's track record, he'd rather go with the veterans. He's one of those guys that he doesn't like going to the younger guys, in most cases, or guys that have not racked up some of the experience. So making that decision, and it made, if I'm building a Serie A 11 of the most improved players of the season, Alessandro Bastoni is easily in it. He's one of the first guys I'm putting in. So that's one thing. He took Christian Eriksen from being an attacking midfielder to just being a midfielder. Christian Eriksen turned into much more of a box-to-box guy under Conte's watch, and he used his range of passing to not just be in a position behind the strikers, but also deeper in the midfield. I mean, he showed some range with his passing, which I think was very key in the way Inter counterattacked. And then, of course, making Ivan Perisic believable as a left wing back.
Yeah.
I think that was a master stroke. I think you see over the course of some of these seasons, some of these managerial decisions that propelled teams to trophies. I mean, it kind of reminded me of Capello's Milan in the mid-'90s, where he used Marcel Desailly as a defensive midfielder in front of the back four. Where he had been a center back. He came into Milan as a center back. He left Milan and went to Chelsea and played center back, and he was center back for France's national team that won the World Cup. Same thing. Perisic is a winger and a very prolific one, but Conte figured out a way to make it work where he could be a wing back. And these are things that really helped propel Inter in terms of their campaign and winning this title.
Frank, I want to move on to the Champions League race, and that was all really well said by you. It's remarkably tight here. Second, third, and fourth place all have 69 points. Fifth place, Napoli, have 67 points, and Lazio are in sixth place with 64, but they've got a game in hand against Torino, so if they win that game, they could be right there with Napoli, 2 points out of fourth place. This weekend on Sunday afternoon, and I'm sure you will be watching anxiously, as will I, there's a massive matchup between Juventus and Milan, who are both on 69 points. Juventus technically in third and Milan in fourth. So first thing I'll ask you is, Frank, now maybe the game ends up being a draw, but if it ends up decisive one way or the other, do you think the team that loses that game will miss Champions League?
I made the comment earlier in the week, if Milan can – I do not see Milan finishing top four without winning this game.
Yeah.
I just can't. With the run-in that they have, because they still have to go to Atalanta at the end of the season, they get a Cagliari team at home that maybe by then Cagliari might be safe and might not be as invested in the game, but Cagliari is still trying to survive. And they travel to Torino, who is also still – in a position where they're trying to survive. So Milan have to have these 3 points, or else I just don't see them finishing top four unless something crazy happens. In the case of Juventus, their run-in isn't all that easy either when you really look at it. They do have the matter of the Coppa Italia final against Atalanta, which will be their only shot at silverware this season. But they play Inter on May 15th. And Inter might want to stick it to their rivals here, or they might want to, throw them a bone and keep their city rivals out of the Champions League. Inter holds some cards here in this race. But another tricky one for Juve is the trip to Sassuolo. Sassuolo are playing much better football now. They're on a massive unbeaten run, and they are running down Roma for seventh, which, as it stands, would be a Europa League place for next season. So Juve doesn't have the greatest run in, and the loser of this game could very well be out of the top four because Napoli have it really easy the rest of the way. Atalanta have some defensive frailties, but they're going to score enough to to hang on. It's going to come down to one of these two teams in terms of their prospects for top four. This game is important on so many levels. This is a very expensive game for the team that loses. Let's just put it that way.
How do you see it playing out?
The key thing that I keep coming back to, Juventus falls behind in games lately, but they find ways to come back and win, most recently here against Udinese.
Yeah.
The key thing that I come back to is all of a sudden on the new calendar year under Pioli, against the top teams, the only win is against Roma, and you're looking at this Roma team, that's not saying a lot. They lost to Sassuolo. They lost 3-0 to Lazio, Atalanta, and Inter. They lost to Juve. They lost at home to Napoli. For whatever reason, it's not working under Stefano Pioli in these big games, and I personally can't see Milan winning this game because of that. And because of Juventus's resources and ability to be able to play come from behind should that happen, I'm going to say that Juve win this game. I predicted it on the podcast that Juve is going to win this 2-1, and it might be the same script we've seen with these Juve games. Milan might get an early goal, but Juve will rally and come back. I don't see a result other than that, and it's largely because of Milan under Pioli in these big games. All of a sudden, in this new year, he hasn't been able to get it done.
Frank Crivello from the Serie A Sit Down joins us here on Onside Radio. Roma made big headlines midweek, Frank, in appointing Jose Mourinho, the special one. And, obviously, we've known for a few weeks he's been out of work since Tottenham let him go. But I was very blindsided by this when it came out because all that we've been hearing was Maurizio Sarri to Roma, and there were reports that all that was missing was the signature, and then out of nowhere, the club's official Twitter account, Roma's announces the appointment of Mourinho. And when I saw it, I had to check a couple times to make sure it wasn't a fake account. I saw Patrick Kendrick tweeted about that as well, and I was right in that boat. I'm like, wait, is this the real Roma account? So, and I know that a lot of the soccer fans who do listen to the show are Premier League fans primarily, so they don't necessarily have the strongest opinion of Mourinho. Certainly Inter supporters look at him a little bit more favorably based on what he did at the club, winning a treble 11 years ago. So how do you feel about this appointment, Frank? I mean, because I can say that Mourinho's tactics probably much better served in Serie A than they were in the Premier League, but at the same time, Roma have not exactly been a free-spending club lately. So what kind of a squad can they actually put together for Mourinho?
Well, anytime Serie A can get a name, it's a good thing. And even when it comes to managers. So having Jose Mourinho coming to Roma is good for Serie A. Now, Roma could not have hired a more perfect manager for what they really need. Jose Mourinho is very rigid tactically. His teams are very organized. They don't give you a lot of room. They defend really well. They're organized. Roma is the absolute polar opposite of everything I just said. They can't defend. They're extremely unorganized. And it's even the details with which they defend individually. So many times I can't remember when I watch Roma concede goals, crossing situations, how attacking players are just free to find any spot in the penalty area that they want, and the Roma defenders just don't track them. And they get cheap and easy goals that way. Fonseca's gone with this back three, and he's deputized a midfielder, Brian Cristante, to be part of this back three. How bad has Federico Fazio gotten that he can't get playing time as a defender on this team, that they're asking a midfielder to be in this back three? The personnel right now isn't there. Mourinho can change some things characteristically with these guys. It's going to take some time, and I think that you'll see some improvement from the defensively, but they will need some names. I saw De Gea be floated as maybe the goalkeeper for Roma next season, that they would possibly take an interest and have a go at him. It's a believable rumor when you see what Henderson has done for Manchester United.
Yeah.
So, I wouldn't be against that happening, and I wouldn't rule out that happening. I could see a key defender here or there coming on board. They're probably going to have to keep the attacking pieces that they have, but they're going to need to. Roma's priorities are improving their defense and bringing Mourinho-type players in. I expect a more organized Roma, but I expect also a wide range of outcomes as to whether or not this is going to work.
Yep.
Mourinho might be a rental for Roma, and Mourinho might use this is a chance to rebuild his career, to go and a better job comes along. Within a year, they part ways because Mourinho will say, I hate Italian football and Italian football hates me. He did say this while he was at Inter.
He sure did.
Or he has regressed as a manager. He's a very decorated manager. He's won so much, but it has not worked out at his last couple of stops, and this is maybe the final destination for him. And if it doesn't work out here, it might be really hard for him to get a high-profile club job again. So there's a wide range of outcomes with how this can work out. I think they will be better under him, especially defensively, but whether that leads to trophies and silverware is that's up for grabs.
Well said. Hey, before I let you go, I want you to weigh in on the Foodie Friday topic today. Your favorite fast food burger, best fast food burger. Now the key, because this is the ruling, because if I didn't set this rule, people would just go too far off the reservation, I think. It's got to be something you can get via a drive-through. So that's how we're going to define fast food. So none of the the designer walk-up joints. Your favorite fast food burger is what?
It's not down by you guys. It's up here, in the Midwest, Culver's.
Oh, they have one of those. Not here in South Florida, but they have at least one in Southwest Florida, because my wife's family is over in the Fort Myers area, and I've had Culver's. Okay. It's really good. So they have it in Fort Myers, and my producer is telling me they have it in St. Petersburg, Florida as well. So people can get it, at least in the state they can get it.
Yeah, it's because it's drive-through and it's fast food technically, but it's also fresh and made to order.
Good choice.
So that trumps everything. Now, in my younger days, when I didn't have much regard for my body, I still don't these days, it was the double quarter pounder with cheese at McDonald's.
Yeah.
Because I just needed as much, because there was the college days and the drinking and the staying out late, and the next day all I wanted was grease to eat up all the loose alcohol.
Exactly.
So sounds kind of gross, but that's what I did to myself earlier in my days. I regret it now.
I've done it many times, and you're right. The quarter pounder with cheese is probably the best for like soaking up the alcohol, and I believe it limits the hangover at least a little bit.
It does. So. And then looking forward to my Brewers against your Marlins tonight, too, by the way.
Yes, so. and actually, let me get the prediction here before you go from Alex Aguirre, my producer. He's our Marlins guy. He hosts a Marlins show on the station. Alex, we're going to kick some Brewers' ass tonight? What's happening tonight?
I mean, I'm hoping. It was a tough series in Milwaukee last time. They're riddled with injuries right now. I don't know if Yelich is back yet. But that's a big blow.
No, he's not.
Exactly.
Ooh.
They've had a few injuries. They're handling it. But their pitching staff is really good. The Marlins pitching staff is really good, too. So I'm hoping for a pitcher's duel throughout the series is low-scoring games. Those are fun.
Yeah, it's the first of 3 runs is going to win today.
I think so.
The Brewers lineup is putrid tonight, but they've been putrid before and have figured out how to win, so we'll see.
Beautiful stuff here as always. You want to follow Frank on Twitter at FTC_21. Check him out Sunday nights on the Serie A Sit Down. You can watch it live on YouTube or get it wherever you get your podcasts. He and his co-host Richard Carmen do an awesome job. Frank, thank you so much, man. Enjoy your weekend and enjoy the big game Sunday.
Yep, you do the same.
Awesome stuff there. And that's, got a little Brewers-Marlins action this weekend. Some Juventus Milan action. I may have Inter taking on Sampdoria tomorrow. Obviously, I want them to win the game, but I think they're going to make like 6 changes to their starting 11 because they got nothing to play for. I got my Inter Miami on Sunday afternoon. It's going to be a really, really awesome weekend. I want to talk about another thing that happened at the Mayweather versus Paul press event yesterday, and this is really becoming a joke here, like the build-up to it. Also, God, if Aaron Rodgers is looking for some incentive to stay in Green Bay, this might do it for him. Folks, he might not be going anywhere after I saw what I saw today. Hey, Heat and NBA fans, catch Ira Winderman here exclusively at OnSideRadio.com with our Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat reports. Catch Ira throughout the week at OnSideRadio.com and when news breaks. Basketball fans know OnSide Radio is the place you get the insight you need.
The man of the match with South Florida's own Alex Donno. Weekdays 1 to 5 p.m. on the home for Inter Miami football. OnSideRadio.com.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hey, hon, what you doing with your phone? Taking pictures?
No, I'm asking it questions.
Like what?
Hey, Bobo, do flowers have best friends?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that. Hey, follow me. I want to show you something. Look, flowers do have best friends.
Whoa.
Some answers can only be found in nature. Discover the unsearchable. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a trail near you. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Get the brutal honesty every day with the Onside Zone with a Big O from 12 noon to 3 p.m. every weekday on your home for sports talk in South Florida. OnSideRadio.com. Keeping you informed in the world of sports. With an OnSideRadio.com sports update.
The Miami Dolphins released Bobby McCain, team captain, yesterday and added cornerback Jason McCourtney. Miami Marlins swept the Arizona Diamondbacks in their 3-game series at home. Adam Duvall and Miguel Rojas led the way on offense for the Fish last night, with each having a home run. The Milwaukee Brewers are in town tonight. First pitch is at 7:10 with the reigning National League Rookie of the Month, Trevor Rogers, on the mound for your Fish. The Miami Heat welcome the Minnesota Timberwolves tonight at the AAA. Tip-off is at 8 p.m. And the Florida Panthers are back on the ice on Saturday at the BB&T Center as they welcome the Tampa Bay Lightning for a pair of games to end their regular season. And guys, don't forget, this Sunday, Inter Miami CF welcomes the Atlanta United to Drive Pink Stadium at 1 p.m., which means Big O and Alex Donno will get you started with the Onside Radio pregame show starting at noon and leading into the call of the game with Chris Whittingham, Thomas Rognan, and Fernando Fiore at 1 p.m. You are listening to South Florida's only locally owned sports talk station, and coming up, it's more Man of the Match with Alex Donno right here at OnSideRadio.com.
You're listening to the only sports station in South Florida that likes to take your calls. 888-441-4623. We connect with a South Florida sports fan because we are South Florida. Locally owned and operated. 888-441-4623. OnSideRadio.com. South Florida's home for real sports talk.
Look out, world, we're getting strong. The future's here and we belong. She can STEM, she can do more. Like build a rocket and watch it soar. Or clean the oceans and make the world a better place. Oh, she can STEM, so can you. Find a cure, invent something new. There's no challenge in the world that she can't face. She can STEM.
Learn more at She Can STEM. A message brought to you by the Ad Council.
You're listening to OnSideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the MyTuner Radio app. OnSideRadio.com, South Florida's true hometown station. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Just beat Minnesota tonight, Heat. These guys embarrassed you the last time out a few weeks ago. Just don't lose this game. I mean, the Heat are going to end up probably having to sweep Boston to make sure they finish ahead of Boston. They don't fall into the play-in, the dreaded play-in. But please beat Minnesota tonight. I was reading this piece on Bleacher Report today that in a poll of NBA executives have voted and they've said the Miami Heat will be the quote-unquote scariest play-in team. That's going to be the team no one wants to face in the play-in. Bros, that's like being named the smartest person at a flat earther convention. Like, what an honor. We're going to be the scariest play-in team. So you're saying out of the crappiest teams that just sneak into the playoffs, we're going to be the toughest team to eliminate in the play-in. I don't take that as a compliment. If you say we're the scariest team in the playoffs, like the actual big boy playoffs, not the NIT that we might end up in, if you're saying we're the scariest team of the actual playoff, I will take that. Would be a lot scarier if Victor Oladipo wasn't sitting out with imaginary injuries. Jimmy Butler has got an illness. Although if he's got like bad diarrhea, I can understand maybe you can't play through that. Right? You don't want to be leaving streaks on the court. But no, man, we've got to fix these woes and get this team together and ready to dominate. An important update on Aaron Rodgers. If I was Aaron Rodgers, this might be enough to convince me to play for the Packers again. So this is what's happening in the city of Green Bay, Wisconsin. Mr. Brew's Tap House says it will provide Aaron Rodgers and his fiancée, Shailene Woodley, with free food and beer for life if Rodgers finishes his career as a Packer. Mr. Brew's founder and CEO said, seriously, we can't let Aaron go. He said, no way, no how. Not only is he coming off yet another MVP season, but he's the face of our beloved franchise. Rodgers signed a 4-year contract extension with the Packers in August of 2018. That was for $134 million. But Day, who's the CEO and founder of that tap house, said, quote, said his restaurant chain wasn't able to go much farther than the free food and drink offer. He says, we can offer him and Shailene a delicious meal and great brews whenever they like, Day said. Come on, Aaron, please stay. So, I mean, first of all, it's kind of an insult that why is it that the richest people are always the ones who get free shit everywhere they go? Like, well, why is that? Like, why is that? You know, you're middle class. You know, you got a family and mouths to feed. You know, you struggle for every dime that you earn. You got a mortgage to pay. And then the guy who signs the $134 million deal, that's the guy who gets free beer and free food everywhere he goes. So I don't know if I like that. I mean, I understand whenever these restaurants offer like the whole free food for life thing, you know, they're trying to get their own names in the news. So now Mr. Brew's Tap House has become something that people are talking about. Look, is that even like legal for in the NFL for someone to do that? Like, I feel like if this were Major League Soccer and like a Miami Tap House was offering Blaise Matuidi free food and beer, that's when Don Garber steps in and says, oh, he's no longer a DP. Oh, wait, hold on, Flanagan's was offering him like a free draft beer after midnight. Oh, that gets him into he's no longer TAM. That gets him into DP territory. It's absolute nonsense. Absolute freaking nonsense, man. So you know what else happened coming out of yesterday? I had a great time hosting the inaugural episode of Fight Night here on OnSideRadio.com. James Walker was hosting it with me, and we had some great guests, by the way. Mike Vasquez from BYB Extreme. They have the great bare knuckle event coming up Saturday, May 15th at the Miami-Dade Fairgrounds, Tamiami Park. I'm going to be out there. That's going to be so much fun. So Mike Vasquez was on with us. Dean Thomas, 9-time UFC veteran, was on with us. Professional prize fighter, boxer Brandon Figueroa was on with us. And we talked about this little incident between Floyd Mayweather and not Logan Paul, the guy he's actually going to fight, but the younger brother, Jake Paul. He and Mayweather got into a little bit. So Jake Paul, this was all at Hard Rock Stadium yesterday. Jake Paul gets into Floyd Mayweather's face, and he snatches Mayweather's baseball cap off of his head. And he says, got your hat, and he runs away. And then Mayweather's security, like, swarms Logan Paul. Mayweather's all furious. And so, like, that has become the defining moment so far in the buildup between Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul was Jake Paul showing the disrespect. It is disrespectful to yank the baseball cap off another man's head. Like, there's no question. That's like somewhere right below spitting in a man's face. Like, spitting in a man's face is obviously one of the worst things you can do disrespect-wise. Yanking the hat off the head is like somewhere right below that. And as a result of it, according to Logan Paul, his brother Jake is banned from attending the fight. That Jake Paul will not be allowed to be at Hard Rock Stadium on June 6th to watch older brother Logan fight Floyd Mayweather. Here's the thing. I don't believe for a second any of this crap is authentic. I don't even believe Mayweather was really upset that Jake Paul pulled the hat off of his head. This was either something that they agreed upon before, and you know what? I think they did agree upon it beforehand. And let me tell you why. Within hours of Jake Paul taking Floyd Mayweather's hat, Jake Paul is selling merchandise, T-shirts and hats that say, "Gotcha hat" on it. So this is so manufactured. This is so planned. Like, how is it that, and it might have been minutes, like within hours or minutes of snatching Mayweather's hat and saying, "Gotcha hat," he's got merchandise on his website for sale with the slogan, "Gotcha hat" on it. Like, I'm a capitalist. Communism sucks, but sometimes capitalism can get a little bit disgusting. And people who actually buy this Jake Paul merch, you can do better, all right? Donate the money to charity. Like, you know, let's cure cancer together. Like don't be sending like $45 to Jake Paul for a T-shirt that says "Gotcha hat." It's ridiculous. I don't even believe that Paul is banned from the fight. And also, like, honestly, it should be Jake, not Logan, fighting Mayweather. Jake is the better boxer than Logan Paul. Like, you know, he's not a full-time professional boxer. But for being a guy who does it as a side hustle, like, Jake Paul is a somewhat skilled boxer. Like, he's got good hands, decent movement. Like, he knows what he's doing in the ring. Logan Paul, I'm not so sure about. Logan Paul's not very good. So I feel like it should be Jake, not Logan fighting Floyd Mayweather. But the whole gotcha hat thing, if you actually believe that was an authentic encounter that he and Mayweather had, I've got a bridge to sell you in Brooklyn. It's the really big, famous one, okay? I've got it for sale, $14.99. Just send me PayPal directly. We'll get it. And that's, by the way, at $14.99, that's not $14.99. That's $1,499. Make the check payable to Donno. And sorry about screwing you over on that. And got our guy Jimmy Shore in the chat. He says Devontae Parker should play soccer because he is weak. Soccer players drop if you touch them. Devontae Parker, real talk, he could be a good goalie. Like, honestly, what is he, like 6'3", 6'4", long arms, great hands? If Devontae Parker, like, were to decide tonight, I'm going to start training as a goalkeeper and make that transition, I think he could be decent at it, right? Now, goalies sometimes get injured also. Goalies don't take nearly as much contact as outfield players. You know, every now and then a goalie will have to kind of come out of the box to make a challenge. So, you know, goalies do sometimes collide with players. It's far less frequent than, you know, one of the 10 outfield players. So, Devontae, you know, honestly, if you're talking about Devontae Parker playing soccer, he's got the build and he's got gigantic hands. That dude could be a goalkeeper. If he set his mind to it, he could be actually a pretty damn good goalie. Oh, man. RC says, Donno, how much for that bridge? Is Tua's agent the realtor? I've also got a bunch of land in the Everglades to sell for you while we're at it. Cheap real estate, $1 million an acre. Just check payable to me. Let's go. We'll wrap up this episode of Man of the Match when we come back. We'll wrap up the week with you guys on the other side. Hey, you're listening to the only locally owned sports station in South Florida, OnSideRadio.com.
The Man of the Match with South Florida's own Alex Donno. Weekdays 1 to 5 p.m. on the home for Inter Miami football. OnSideRadio.com.
Look out, world, we're getting strong. The future's here and we belong. She can STEM, she can do more. Like build a rocket and watch it soar. Or clean the oceans and make the world a better place. Oh, she can STEM, so can you. Find a cure, invent something new. There's no challenge in the world that she can't face. She can STEM.
Learn more at She Can STEM. A message brought to you by the Ad Council.
When you're looking for curtains and blinds to create a space of your own, look no further than Bandalux. Bandalux can tailor your space to your needs. Create the atmosphere and ambiance you desire. We invite you to discover it at Bandalux.com. Explore our new solar control systems, range of sustainable fabrics, and energy-efficient solutions that can improve your well-being and quality of life. Witness Bandalux Beauty. Go to Bandalux.com or follow them on Instagram at Bandalux_official. For a personal experience, A Shade Above Window Fashions in Davie and Sunrise is an official Bandalux partner.
Ashiro's work is never done. You care for the house, the kids, and our future. We're so grateful for all you do. Now, it's time to care for yourself and save a little more for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to boost your retirement savings now. Visit aceyourretirement.org today.
A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Parents, we know we can't protect our kids from everything. Eventually, they're going to bump their heads or scrape their knees. But we can protect them from 6 types of cancer. HPV, or human papillomavirus, is a common preventable virus that can cause cancer later in life. The HPV vaccine prevents human papillomavirus and all the cancers it can cause. The American Cancer Society recommends getting your sons and daughters the HPV vaccine starting at age 9 to protect them later in life.
Join the Inter Miami family in 2021 by becoming a 2021 season ticket member. Enjoy enhanced access benefits and pricing not available to general fans. Visit intermiamicf.com/tickets for more information.
You're listening to OnSideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the MyTuner Radio app. OnSideRadio.com, South Florida's true hometown station. You're listening to this station with more live and local sports talk than anyone else in South Florida. OnSideRadio.com, broadcasting from South Florida to the world. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
I knew this was going to start happening a lot, right? Because there's a lot of people who don't want to get the COVID vaccine, but there's also privileges being given to the people who have. And I am vaccinated. Like I'm not doing it to virtue signal like a lot of people like, oh, bro, I got to post my vaccine card on Twitter and I got to brag. I'm such a, you know, I'm like a hero, as if it takes that much effort to get pricked with a needle. I'm glad I did it. Believe me, don't get me wrong. Like I did it to protect my family. I didn't do it so I can post my vaccine card on Twitter and get all these social points for it. I chose to get vaccinated, and I hope other people make that choice. I encourage you to. But, you know, they're talking about doing this like vaccine passport thing, and like to get into certain places and hotels and events, you're going to have the vaccine card. So this was inevitable that there are people selling fake COVID-19 vaccine cards, and a bar owner in Northern California has been charged with multiple felonies, including forgery and identity theft. Tom Anderson, 59 years old, of Acampo, California, was arrested this week at his bar. And by the way, if there's ever a bar where you would expect to find counterfeit COVID vaccine cards, a bar called Old Corner Saloon would be a great candidate, right? As soon as I drive by Old Corner Saloon, I'm like, bro, I bet I can get fake vaccine cards at that bar. So this guy, a complaint came in that fake vaccination cards were being sold at the bar, and they opened an investigation, the agency said Wednesday. In April, undercover agents were able to buy 4 fake cards from the bar as part of their investigation. They paid $20 per card, he said. That's actually kind of dumb, because if you're selling something that like could actually get you, you know, charged with felonies, it seems like you should be charging more than $20 per card. Like just the amount of risk involved. Maybe there's so much competition with other saloons selling cards that they had to lower the price because of the competitors. But still, like, to me, if you're taking that much risk that you could get charged with felonies, I would think at least a couple $100 per card is the way to go. But their operation has been shut down. So listen, man, unless obviously there are people with medical conditions that may make it really risky or impossible to get vaccinated, and of course special understanding goes to those people. But everyone else, man, I mean, I encourage you to get it done. I got it done, and maybe I'm lucky because I had 0 side effects whatsoever. I know some people who weren't that lucky and did have some side effects and were feeling ill for 24, 36 hours after they got their second shot. I'm doing great. I had 0 side effects whatsoever. So just let's take care of everyone around us, folks. 844-416-8123. Actually, no point giving out the number because we're done here. Had a great show. Hope everyone has a fun weekend coming up. I'm celebrating Cinco 2 days late and $1 short today. Huge thanks to Alex Aguirre for doing awesome work as always. Big thanks to Omar Kelly, who joined us in the 4 o'clock hour. Lee Sterling back in the 3 o'clock hour. George Richards and Frank Crivello, who joined us in the 5 o'clock hour. We'll talk to everyone on Monday. Actually, on Sunday, we'll talk to you for the Inter-Miami broadcast, 12 noon. Our pregame coverage will start right here from Drive Pink Stadium, so we'll talk to you Sunday for the game, Inter-Miami, Atlanta United. I'll talk to you guys Monday on Man of the Match here on OnSideRadio.com.
You're listening to the flagship station of Inter-Miami CF, OnSideRadio.com. Follow us on social media at OnSide Radio.
Hey, it's Big O for EJD Construction, your custom home builder, additions and home remodeling. Our lives have changed. We're making our homes more of an oasis. Call the right place. Call the right people. Eric at EJD Construction for over 16 years. A-rated member of Angie's List in the Better Business Bureau. 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
Floridians must prepare for sweltering heat, summer rainy seasons, and aggressive nature. And of course, hurricane season. That's why when it comes to protection, make sure your roof is prepared for the same brutal weather by calling Chase Roofing and Contracting. Open 24/7. Call them today. Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Tampa, and even Orlando. Go to chaseroofing.com. Chaseroofing.com provides roof inspections for both residential and commercial roofs. Get a free no-obligation roof evaluation. Trust chaseroofing.com to fortify and protect what's most important to you, your family.
Hey, it's Toast, and when I got PGT custom windows and doors installed at my house last year from B&T Windows and Doors, I knew that I was protecting my house when it came to hurricanes. But I was also investing in my house. My value went up. My home insurance cost went down. Yeah, I can now get more for my house when I sell it because I have PGT custom windows and doors installed courtesy of my buddies at B&T Windows and Doors. Just another reason why you should upgrade your house today. Give them a call, 954-233-0126. That's 954-233-0126, B&T Windows and Doors.
When you need your warehouse looking good while staying efficient, there's only one place to find the finest racks in the business. Pallet Rack City in Hialeah. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547.